for doubt. Parables drop stronger than gold faucets. Souls hydrated from divine prophets. Studied the book, changed perspectives. Carefully crafted, not too subjective. A year to reflect, learning perfect. Patterns of grace that time can't deflect. Old Testament drops deep and so real. Kings and warriors, covenant seals. Split that Red Sea, divine reveal. Commandments written, not made of steel. Bethlehem birth to cross on the hill. Unfolding the nappy blessings, pastor with skill. Scripture flip, every verse fulfilled.
Through the word, every verse, every chapter, nothing unheard. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered, spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ, flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message, flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extends. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Yo, online sermons, holy vibes delivered, spreading light, got the sinners reconsidered. Psalm to psalm, man's like a holy DJ, flipping through scripture, repping the Yahweh. Your emotes in the chat, praising the message, flat cap on point, teaching eternal lessons. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick. Virtual congregation, united in devotion. 1 year strong, a spiritual promotion. He's a life coach with divine instructions. Streaming holiness, no room for interruption. Flat cap changed the game, new pastoral fame. Virtual shepherd, he's embracing the mainframe. In the comments, affirmatives and amens. With each Goliath tackled, faith extends. Everybody in here blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. 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 Digital pulpit, preaching like a pro. Followers grow as the faith overflow. Keyboard clicks, holy words they stick. Raining blessings down with a slick rhyme trick.
Welcome in, everybody! Welcome in! How's that sound? How's it sound today? Little delay there. Gotta wait for it. Gotta wait for it. Look, I've got, not that you can see it, but let me just kind of show you this. Oh, you can't see it at all. Let me try this. This might help. Oh, now you're going to get all kinds of other stuff. But look, no, there you can. There you can see it a little bit. I've got an arm now. I've got an arm instead of, this has been on this tiny little tripod for years. And I finally got an arm for the microphone. So hopefully that sound is going to be better. Open that sound. Yeah, Electropod, good to see you, friend. Let me get the earbud out of my ear. Come on, phone, do your thing. There we go. Always got to check the sound. I don't trust it to not be there. I trust it to not work half the time. I still haven't figured out why. That some of the time it registers this random series of ones and zeros with a few other letters thrown in there and says, "Ha! That, my friends, is your new microphone." And I'm like, No, that's not it at all. That's not what my microphone is. So anyway, I got well, what I was looking for was actually some wall mounts, and I've thought about getting a arm for a while. It was more a matter of I didn't want to go spend any money on getting an arm, but well, it was also, am I going to keep the microphone I have, or do I need to get a newer microphone? It was having some problems in the last week or so, but with no income, it's a whole lot easier to just stick with what you got, spend as minimum as possible to maintain what you're doing, and go from there. So, how's your day, Electropod? How are you doing today? And noticing, I think I might need to shift my angle a little bit on the cam. Oh, I know why. Because I changed my TV angle slightly. My monitor angle. That's what it was. I moved the monitor because I was trying to get rid of the glare off of my glasses when I was in a call. It was really, really bad for some reason yesterday. So I thought I would just push the monitor away to give a slight angle and see if that helped. It did not. It did not, by the way. So the other thing, the reason I haven't liked the monitor here is it's obstructive to the view. I know people have it hanging down, but I need to see the screen, and I had to figure out a way to get the microphone to come into my face, not block my view, not get in the way of my hands, and that took some doing to get that all worked out. Electropod, you're doing pretty good. Not sure how I feel about losing one of my gaming account from a tank game I play. Oh, did someone end up hacking your account? Dude, I'm sorry. That's not good. Yeah, what was the thing I just saw the other day that was kind of interesting of like getting in and hacking and all that stuff was kind of like, wow, I guess there's nothing safe. Absolutely nothing is safe. If there's a way and there's someone nefarious, then a nefarious person will find a way. That's kind of what I think. All right. Let's take a look at where we are at. Oh, and I got to click on that. Come on. There we go. Yeah, see, it's even saying it's where I want it to be. There we go. No, I want to change my old linked email to my new one, but thanks to the devs, they made it complicated for an old email has been deleted long ago. Oh, yes. Okay. So you've not been hacked, but what you are, okay, that makes sense. I've had that before too. Well, for instance, my daughter had a Netflix account, and I don't remember how this all happened, but I don't remember if we had a Netflix account too, and she had one, and she was in the house and running two of them, and then her boyfriend had one, and she was like, I can't pay for two, so you can take my old one, and her email and name is on the main account. Now, maybe now with the new, you can transition your Netflix account. But anyway, she's the main name on the account. I got the email changed, but I can't change the main person on it. Now, like I said, they just changed some things where you can migrate accounts. So maybe I could have her migrate her account to herself. But it's like, yeah, she's the one that shows up as the main person. I'm a sub person underneath it. So when I go watch, I'm not even the main person using it. So there's some other place I ran into that recently too, with not having access to something because the email or some other information of which it was set up with no longer exists. Johnny Darko, good morning. The screen is still really dark. When you were messing with it last time, you actually fixed it. I didn't realize it, then reverted it back to dark again. Just a heads up. I can see that on the screen that it's dark, but I don't know why it is dark on the screen. Well, let's just take a minute and play with that. Oh, da, 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 da. It doesn't change anything. What is that? Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, used to be. I had just to log into the game and could change my email through the settings, but now a link has to be sent to the old email, which is a problem because someone created an email account with the old email so that it might get. Oh wow! So even though that's even more complicated than I've heard of. Someone took your old email that you had and is using it. That's interesting. I've never had anyone take an old email of mine, but I do get alerts of data breaches all the time with old accounts and old emails and the like. Well, they didn't take it. More like they recreated an account. Yeah, but I'm saying that, like for instance, if my email was flatcaps@gmail.com, somebody might take flatcaps@gmail.com. But I've never been as simple as that on an email. And I'm making it brighter here, but it does not make that brighter on the screen, which is interesting. Man, played with this the other day for quite a while, and I undid some of the stuff that I thought I had done to begin with. I wish I was smarter at this stuff. It's more like there's not that many settings to be able to change, so how it got messed up. I was wondering if in the browser there's a setting that capture mode automatic bits. No, that's not it. Scale layout. Yeah, I don't want to change the scale. There we go. Maybe that's it. Okay. Monitor properties. We're at 100 hertz. This display is working properly. Great. That's nice. Lucis has been following for 1 year, 8 months, 13 days, and 20 hours. That's quite a while. I had, what was it that, I went to a stream. Hey, Martyr Luther, welcome in. I went to a stream and did follow age, and it was boom, dead on 0, 2 years exactly. Not any more months, not any more days. 2 years to the day, and I was like, wow, that's kind of fascinating. Wow, 1 year, 6 months, 18 days, and 22 hours. Wow, you guys have been around for a while. Okay, that's not helping. Okay. Color management didn't do. Adapter isn't doing it. Monitor's not doing it. Why is it this way? Because I can brighten it up. It just adds more glare to my glasses. It doesn't really change the hue. Or oh, you know what? Maybe that's it. You try that. Theme is what I need to find. Maybe. Where is that at? Come on. It's got to be here somewhere. Bum, bum, bum. Nope, that doesn't do it. It's not what I'm looking for. Hey, Sis Pineapple, welcome in. I'm just trying to get my screen to look better because it's been dark and I adjusted some things and then I tried to adjust them back and now just can't seem to get it so that it's nice and viewable, and thought I undid whatever I did, and well, it's still a problem. Now I can't figure out what I'm trying to find. Well, let's just do that, see what that does. And it's not doing anything that I can tell. Hope it just reverts because now I can't read this screen. Oh, there we go. Galaxy, thanks for the lurk, friend. Display recommended settings. There we go. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't know. We can go night mode. That doesn't help. Oh, that's awful. What did that? That's just, I can't read anything now. Well, let's undo that. That was no good. Is it coming back? There we go. Man, that was an awful setting. Well, I'm running out of things here, and I can't figure out where in the world is the background. Personalized, maybe that's it. There we go. Dynamic lighting, maybe that's it. Nope, not see a difference with that. It's not making much difference. Hey, is the display setting option? There might be a toggle switch. Yeah, I'm trying to find those. And Breadman Fun, hey, welcome in. How are you doing? I'm gonna give us about 2 more minutes trying to play with this, and then we're just gonna go. Contrast themes. I know I did this before. Nope, that's not it. Oh, where is it? I don't know. I'm struggling here. I'm trying to make it look better for you, and I'm just making it worse. And then I revert back, and it's not the same. That's interesting. I've never been in here before. Personalize. What is your device used for? Well, not that did anything. The weird one did look brighter. Yeah. Well, it was bright, but I couldn't read anything. Could not read anything. That doesn't change anything on screen when I change that. That's just going back around in a circle. Let me try this and see what that does. And I'm waiting. No, see, it's not. You know what? I wonder if there's settings inside of the. I don't like that. We're going back. Let's go to there. Okay, so there's settings in here. What about appearance? Browser color, same as Windows. Search engine, browser. Personalization is probably it. You can usually change the screen color overall. Yeah, I hadn't done that, so I'm trying to do that to try to get back to something. Is your settings on the screen in the streaming software where you can increase brightness? If there is, I don't know where that is. I opened it up, but it doesn't. In slobs, I don't find anything, and I didn't adjust anything in slobs previously, so I had looked there under the settings in the browser. What it says is I can have the cursor, I can have the client area, and I can force SDR. I don't know what SDR is. There, I'm going to force SDR. What does that do? It went black. So forcing SDR didn't do it. Now I lost it. So we try it again. No, I don't think that made any difference. Got it on dark mode, which dark mode does help with the glasses. So I guess I've tried to do that for before, and dark mode just feels weird to me. In reading, I miss stuff, but well, let's just go with where we're at and see what happens. So gray on gray. I might change this. Let's see. That's dusk. That's all right. How's that look? Is that better? It's white now. That reads a lot better. Okay. We at least got it so that it's looking better. And what was I going to do? Nah, font size is good. Okay, so we are, I was trying to show you on the other screen, we are starting the book of Isaiah. Sis Pineapple redeemed a sticker. You are going to have to send me your info so I can send you one, Sis Pineapple. And don't currently have any, so it might take a bit before I do get some stickers to send you. I gave them all out. You need another sticker for ukulele. I gave them all out during Streamiversary week, and then at ReachCon, I gave out all my stickers. So I will have to make changes there. Breadman. So awesome. You read and stream. I tried it. I just can't focus and digest the material from being so distracted. LOL. You know what? There are very few things that I feel confident to be able to read and stream, or let me put it this way: to read in public. Like, I can get up in front of a congregation, in front of a group of people, and I can read the Bible, and I'm good with that. But sorry, I'm just trying to click off. But if you gave me another book to read, oh my goodness, I like, if you gave me somebody's speech to read, yeah, I have no interest in. I'd rather go off the cuff than to read in public. So, hey, Melchizedek, welcome in. So, oh yeah, just Pineapple, just DM me with your info, and when I get stickers, I'll let you know, and it'll be on the way. It'll be on the way. So, I do have, by the way, so let's just do this. I am doing Blessing Boat tomorrow. So let's just go there. I don't know if they have this updated, but let me see if that's updated. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. There we go. So, if you do not know, Blessing Boat, thank you, Lucis, for getting that in there. Blessing Boat is a once-a-month raid train to help new streamers make affiliate, and then those of us who have participated often go back and stream along with them. So, please come on out tomorrow. Dino Dad usually starts it off. Dino Dad is a great guy. Greg Murray Entertainment, going to be doing 2 hours. 2 hours, 10 to noon Central Time, and these are all Central Time. Rocky Doc, I do not know Greg. I might know Greg Murray. I'm not sure. Rocky Doc, I do not know. And then my buddy Woofler, 77, is going to be streaming. Great guy. Make sure you give follows to these people, even if you can't hang out there tomorrow. It's a blessing and a benefit. And then One Dapper Koi Pond. Yes, my alternate stream. I've been streaming my fish on my channel for a while, along with sunrises and sunsets, and I finally decided I needed to just start my own channel. I don't yet have another computer to be able to have that be a 24/7 stream. That is one of the ideals I would love to do, and make that available and have that in the background. But I do not yet have that, and so I often am streaming on the weekend when I am not able to stream, or I'm streaming when I'm out of town and my computer's home. So One Dapper Koi Pond, I will actually be live on there. I'm not just going to put it up and let it play like I usually do. I will be in there engaging. I'm going to talk about my fish. I'm going to talk about the sunrise and sunset cam. I'm going to, hang out for an hour, and then we'll raid back to Blessing Boat, and then you'll raid back to me on Saturday. And I've got merch to give away. I've got merch to give away. I got to play with this. I was hearing some things on people were struggling to play Gate Zero. It's still in the beta version, but I have a beta version I was playing the other day, so I'm going to get that out, make sure I can play it. But if I'm able to, I'll be playing that game on Saturday and giving out some of the t-shirts. So in order to get a ticket, you just exclamation point enter, exclamation point ticket. Now, you do have to be here to win. So if you enter now, you can still show up on Saturday and win. You don't have to do it Saturday. You can do it now. Johnny Darko, is the Gate Zero shirt? Yes, it is. That's so cool. I can't wait for the game to be full released. Yes. So yeah, and like I said, there's no point in you waiting till tomorrow to enter. You can enter today. You can buy up to 3 tickets. I think I let it go with 3 tickets so that if you have points, you can use the points to be able to do that. But I don't want it weighted too heavily to anyone new that hasn't seen me before to not be able to win. So you do need to be present, and you will need to be able to send me your address. And yes, if you are overseas, I am willing to mail these out to you. So I got them free from Gate Zero, from Bible X. They had a whole stack of them. Oh, also, if you win, you need to let me know what size. And the sizes will be in order that you win. So
Jesus _ loves _ you just followed.
Jesus loves you has followed. Jesus loves you too, man. Welcome in. All right, and then we'll raid out to Warrior of Light, and Warrior of Light will then take it through the Blessing Boat for the last hour, and then there'll be giveaways there as well. So I just wanted to do some giveaways myself, and then what I will probably do is with any of the shirts that don't get claimed, don't get one, I will give those out at another time. Hey, not Nick Cage, welcome in. So that's the Blessing Boat there, and as long as we're talking, let's talk about Pass the Cap as well. So my buddy Josh works with Mikey, and Mikey's dad is going through prostate cancer, and so they need to raise funds for expenses for the surgery, as well as treatments and transportation and other things associated with that. So if you are blessed, if you are able to, we pass the cap because we've been blessed to help someone else who has a need be able to get the things to bless them. So just looking at where my screen is and saying, do I want it there? I'll adjust it in a minute. Okay. So, trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to share and pass along before we get going. But anyway, welcome in, everybody. Let's get over to the Bible. All right, so normally I have my tabs hidden. So let me just stretch this to hide my tabs. There's not any benefit for you seeing all my tabs hidden, or all my tabs. I have lots of tabs. People tell me I should not do it that way. With my brain, it works well for me that way. Might not work for my computer well, but alas, that's what we got. Is there something else I was thinking with the fishies? Nah, we'll feed them. We'll see them soon enough. Okay, so we're starting the book of Isaiah. Isaiah is one of the prophets. He is a prophet in the northern kingdom. So in the northern kingdom, who never had a good king. All the kings were evil. All the kings were opposed to following God. God did have prophets who went there to bring the people into relationship with God. So he was constantly going to the people and calling them to himself. So people were following after God in the northern kingdom, even when the kings were not. So, Johnny, you love the book of Isaiah? It is probably my least favorite book of all of Scripture. Yeah, so many references in the New Testament to the prophets. Yeah, and I love that aspect of it, but I feel a level of drudgery, and I can't fully explain why when I read through Isaiah. I'm not against it. I just don't get excited about Isaiah. I go, oh, goody, it's time for Isaiah again. Can I click on it? Oh, well, I'll fix that later. Me too. Gotta be your favorite prophet. It's very heavy. Yeah. There are different theories on Isaiah, so I won't talk about these all the time throughout the book of Isaiah, but some of the theories are there's a first Isaiah, a second, and a third. Like there are distinct sections of the book. It depends on how you count them. So I think some even go with 4 different Isaiahs. If you hear references like that, they're just talking about sections of the book. So I'm trying to think of a book that splits itself up that way. But if you just think about if you had a trilogy and that trilogy was contained within one book, which sometimes happen when you get to, or if you have trade paperbacks where it was a bunch of separate comics that came out individually and later they bind it all together in one book, or even you could think of the Chronicles of Narnia, if those were all together in one book and you read from beginning to end, those could have been written at different times. They could have been written in different orders. They could have been placed in this order for a specific reason. I don't have any problem with that. If Isaiah lives a long time and there's a lot of material, I don't think he sat down and just wrote it out in one setting. So it's the collection of the things that Isaiah says and does over a period of time. If there's gaps between there, for instance, if I did that and you were to go and take the things that I wrote when I was in college, and then took the things that I wrote when I was in seminary, and then you took anything I wrote now, the voice of how I say things is going to be different. My experience has shaded the way I'm going to describe and talk about things. So that's not unexpected. Things will modify and change through your life as you write things. So those might be distinctive markers when there's gaps in between. Just letting you know, if you hear about those things, it's no big deal. Breadman fun. All right. Redeeming the new cap. So much excitement in your voice. Yes. Normally I am a beacon of excitement in Isaiah. We're Or so you can tell me a color, or you can tell me a shelf, whatever you like, friend. Oh, this is nice because I've not been able to do that. I can move the mic over here. Yes. Then read like what people's typical thoughts are of the boring pastor is how I'm going to read Isaiah, right? Yeah. Here is the message about Judah and Jerusalem that was revealed to Isaiah, son of Amos, during the time of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah. All right, Uncle Daddy with the biddies. All right, so if you don't have a color preference at all, Breadman, I will just change one randomly. But if you've got one, let me know. Tried to move so you could see them more, and you see. I did not clean up my mess. I still got cables on the floor as I was trying to set up my VR set. So, all right. Let me know if you have one. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick one, and then if you decide, I'll change it to that one. So, all right. You've got one. Nope, I don't see anything. I'm going to go with the black with a little bit of the orange hue in there from the blue and yellow. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Wow, somebody's going to go back and watch the VOD of this one and go, how did you start the stream and not get to reading any scripture for half an hour? And you didn't talk about anything either. All right, so if you want a different hat, you're still welcome to let me know on a different hat. I'll gladly switch to that one. All right. So those that came in late, if you didn't see, I've got a new arm instead of a tripod, and I can move the microphone closer to my face. So hopefully that sound is better. It might even let me do ASMR. Wouldn't that be fun? ASMR Bible reading. Maybe I should do that for the whole book of Isaiah. We're going to do ASMR Isaiah. I could not manage that. I wouldn't be able to keep that up the whole time. I would be internally trying to laugh the whole time. Wow, you can order a new body parts. Wish I could order a new back. There are some body parts I wish I could trade out, but all right, let's get into Isaiah. Enough shenanigans for the morning. There'll be more along the way, I'm sure. But I might as well get prepped on the ready to go look up, because what in the world does the name Isaiah mean? So we'll be looking at that shortly. So here is the message about Judah and Jerusalem. So I told you he was in the north, to the north. He does talk to the south too. That was revealed to Isaiah, son of Amos, during the time of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah reigned over Judah. So there'll be different kings that are mentioned. So we just had 4 kings. I just happened to have my list of kings right here, ready, handy, available to look at. So we have Uzziah is, and this is BC, 792 to 740. So that is 52 years. Doesn't mean he was around all those 52 years. Then he has Jotham and Ahaz, and then Hezekiah is 729 to 686. So at minimum, he is from, let's see. Well, that must be a typo. That must be 750 or something. I'm looking at the difference between these two. This is an old font that it is hard to read. And that might be a typo there. So anyway, let's just say he is somewhere from 700 to 750 BC. And that can be a larger range than that. So, okay, let's go look up Isaiah and Amos, because maybe the son of is also a reference to something interesting. I do like, I know they went with it, ISA as an abbreviation. I do like the abbreviation is just 2 letters. Boom, here we go. Okay, so is Isaiah, you might hear it pronounced that way. I'm going to guess that's going to be close to the way they're going to pronounce it. And Amos, I know we've had the name Amos before, but I don't remember what Amos means.
Strong's H 3470. Yeshayahu.
Yeshayahu.
Second entry. Yeshaya.
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 Yeah, Yeshaya. Okay, so they went with the Ya instead of E. That's all right. That's all right. So it means God has saved. God has saved. Oh, that sounds like very similar to Jesus. Amos is strong.
Strong's H 531. Amos.
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 Wow, I pronounce that way different. Amos. Well, when you want a big defense around your castle, I recommend Amos. It's a strong fortification to keep people away from your valuables. Amos. Build one today. Okay, so we've got salvation is from God, and he is the son of strong. Okay. Indication there, he's from a strong family line. Perhaps he is God saved. So the intention of him coming is to bring salvation to people within his name. I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. Okay. And like, here's the thing I would love. Like, could I, like, this is like someone needs to do like a setting on these that says, do not give me heading titles. Just eliminate and erase those. Oh, and I was just listening to a podcast the other day that was talking about, like, when there is something poetic, how do we know it? Is there something in the writing that tells us it's poetry, some marker? And sometimes the books tell us that. But what we have in the Masoretic text, which is our oldest complete copy of the Old Testament, doesn't mean we don't have older, but in a complete version from around the 3rd to 5th century, complete copy of the Old Testament, they had begun doing this with sections of poetry. They had been setting them off. And so the English will just follow what they were doing when that happens. They don't make names like they used to. No. We kind of just go, oh, I like the sound of this thing, so I shall name my kids that. You know what I'm just thinking, what would be fun is go look up in another language that would be he who bites or he who barks, and then name your dog that. Name your dog that. Hi, this is my dog, he who bites. Or he who guards. She, if it's a female, put the gender pronoun on there correctly. That would be some fun. I think we might do that with pets, but that's about it. Okay. Listen, O heavens, pay attention, O earth, for the Lord speaks. Okay, I'm just going to pause there. Why calling on heaven and earth? Because this has happened before. When you need witnesses who can stand the test of time, you call on heaven and earth. Because these witnesses were there beforehand, and these witnesses will be there after you are there. So to call on heaven and earth is your 2 to 3 witnesses who are going to verify and validate something. You know someone who had a rabbit called Arthur. R for rabbit. There you go. Mother Goose, good morning. How are you doing? So, I raised children. I brought them up, but they have rebelled against me. So, the message is going to heaven and earth, not to the people. So, I don't know if your parents ever did this to you, or you as a parent have ever done this. Like, you talk about someone in their presence, but you don't talk to them. Because you're mad at that person. So this is kind of like, if you've ever seen it, the tell your son that this, or tell your husband this, or tell your sister, whoever it is that you're mad at, you talk to someone else instead of talking to them. God understands that. So he has the prophet do that. You're doing all right. You're looking forward to a nice day of rest today. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of study and thinking, contemplating on Sabbath and rest and shalom and peace a lot in the last month. So, right there with you. Okay, so I raised children. I brought them up, but they have rebelled against me. An ox recognizes its owner. A donkey recognizes where its owner puts its food. But Israel does not recognize me. My people do not understand. So he's going to compare you to animals because you're awful. Beware, sinful nation, the people weighed down by evil deeds. They are offspring who do wrong, children who do wicked things. They have abandoned the Lord and rejected the Holy One of Israel. They are alienated from him. Why do you insist on being battered? Why do you continue to rebel? Your head has a massive wound. Your whole heart is sick. Whoa, that is strong language there. Yeah, Streamlabs. I'm thankful for my life in general. I also feel blessed. One challenge, my kiddos stretch me and challenge me. We had a rough morning. Oh, I'm sorry you had a rough morning, Mother Goose. Yeah. Well, hopefully it gets better. From the soles of your feet to your head, there is not one spot that is unharmed. Okay, so saying from the sole of the feet to your head. Boy, that sounds like Job to me. That sounds like Job. Like Job had sores from head to toe. There's like, I should think of the affliction of Job, perhaps. I don't know, maybe not, but yeah, that was pretty poignant and powerful that he had to sit and deal with. Yeah, you were just thinking of Job too? Okay. Yes, not all mornings are like that. Praise the Lord, they're not all like that. Happy to be around encouraging folks. Right, meow. All right. And there are some fantastic encouraging people in the chat. And they are amazing. Taking the kids to school, BRB. Thanks, Fabstio. Hey, by the way, I know you have kids. If you have kids in the chat, if you want to share, don't share specifics or whatever. Just like, are your kids elementary? Are they middle school? Are they high school or older? Mine are all post-college. So I'm in a different place than many of you taking kids back and forth to school. I don't even know when school starts because I'm not connected in any way. First grade? Oh, wow. Man, that was a long time ago for me. I'm closer to grandkids going to first grade with no grandkids than my kids in first grade. Okay, so back to the text. You can see how easily I want to be distracted from reading Isaiah. I'm just saying. Okay, so they are only bruises, cuts, and there are only bruises, cuts, and open wounds. They have not cleansed or bandaged, nor have they treated with olive oil. You know, that's an interesting thing. I know that's what they would do. I'm just thinking here. What if I treated? I mean, I've got some abrasions here. They are healing. If you knew that I fell. It's looking good. I've got no band-aids on right now. I'm healing well from the fall. But I'm like, what if I put olive oil on there as they continue to heal? Would that be a beneficial thing or not? Kids are 17, 13, 11, and almost 9. So senior, 8th, 6th grade, and 3rd grade. Wow, 3rd grade to senior. That's crazy in my mind, because my kids were all 2 years apart. Mother Goose, you don't know the half of I'm okay. I fell. So 2 weeks ago Wednesday, I fell off of a 10-foot ladder while working at my mom's house, and I hit a tree stump, and only had some need for stitches, and the one got super glue. It could have got stitches, but went that way. But I totally felt like I knew how dangerous my fall was. There were lots of sharp metal objects I could have impaled myself on. And no, God guided me to the ground in a safe way. I got swift medical attention for my needs. I had no pain. Infection was the big risk. I've had no infection. And there's still going to be long-term healing. I can feel the layers of skin underneath are mashed up in a funky way. But yeah, I just totally feel blessed by being cared for. So yeah, but God guided you. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I could go on about it more, but Rose Lemon, welcome in. Good to see you, friend. Nice to have you here. Uncle Teddy, good to see you. And Chilwell, I thought I saw you popping in. There it was, Chilwell. Good morning, sir. May your heart overflow with gratitude, your spirit be lifted by hope, and your life be enriched by love. Ooh, that is a nice blessing, Chilwell. That is a nice blessing. Yeah, I totally feel like God was watching over and caring for me, because I could seriously still be in the hospital from injuries from that fall. And all of the things, like I downplayed it at the hospital, honestly. I fell, I hit a tree stump. I didn't say anything about all the metal objects that were around that I could have impaled myself on. Or if I would have, because I was trying to grab the ladder as I began to fall. And then I just released and let myself fall. Not that that's my natural instinct, but that's what happened. But if I would have actually grabbed the rung of the ladder, I probably would not have been able to hold it, but it probably would have jerked me face forward and face down. And if I did not get my hands, my whole face, my whole head could have been messed up by that. So a total praise to God that he was watching over and caring for me. And here's another thing too. I shared it in a few places very quickly that, hey, I had a fall. I'm not going to be around. I have an injury, and I'm all good, getting taken care of. And one of the immediate things people were praying for was no pain. And I thought, well, I don't need you to pray for no pain, because I have no pain. And then the second thought in my head was, that's an answer to prayer. That's an answer to prayer. You prayed for me to have no pain. God, because God is all places, all spaces, all times, could have, and I think did, hear the prayer before I fell, answered the prayer when I fell, that you prayed after I fell. So I've had no pain with this. It's fantastic in that regards. You got new cyber friends? Oh, yes. Okay. So, yes, only bruises, cuts, and open wounds. I'm so thankful that you're okay. Yes, praise God. Yeah, that's why I need to find this. A couple of people when I was at ReachCon did interview me about that. Did the ladder just slip? Oh, no, no, no. The ladder was welded, so the ladder could not move. It's an old semi-trailer that my mom has as a shed. I was putting a roof on it. So my hands were on the last sheet of metal to go on. They weren't on the rung of the ladder while I was trying to prepare to secure that in place. And it started moving and sliding, and I'm holding on to this, and I did not manage to be able to grab the ladder to hold myself. I should have had one hand on the ladder while I was doing it, but I felt like I needed to be closer, so I was like this, holding myself, and then when my weight shifted, it started sliding, and that all fell. So, yep. We did finish the roof, by the way. Somebody asked me about that. Yes, the next day we put the last piece on, my son and I. I was well enough to be able to get up and do that with very, very little limitations. So they only have bruises and... Oh, that's the other thing, too. Oh, my goodness, I was so thankful. I did not break this arm. I mean, I had a little anxiety when I saw some of the wounding and the swelling on it that, oh, no, did I get a compound fracture? Did I break my arm? And no broken bones. So that's definitely a blessing, too. You felt about 2 weeks ago, same thing happened where you felt like God directed directed by fault. Yep. You fell off a chair, a sturdy looking chair, but my leg, the leg on the chair was broken, not your leg. I read that at first. So you fell off a chair and broke your leg? No. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, I've been doing a lot of reflecting. Okay. So they only have bruises, cuts, and open wounds. They haven't cleaned or bandaged them. I was talking about the olive oil. That's where I was at. Okay. Your land is devastated. Your cities burned with fire. Right before your eyes, your crops are being destroyed by foreign invaders. They leave behind devastation and destruction. Daughter Zion is left isolated, like a hut in a vineyard or a shelter in a cucumber field. She is a besieged city. Mother Goose, I was climbing up quick to just put something on the wall. Oh, okay. Normally you don't climb on chairs. Yes. I know that feeling. There was a little bit of that too. Like, I know I could take longer and do this better and go that way, but Rose Lemon, I might be banned, but I don't believe that being in the LGBT community is a sin. If you don't agree, can you agree to disagree? I can absolutely agree to disagree. Rose Lemon, and LGBTQ people, atheists, Muslims, everyone is welcome here. No one is going to be banned for their beliefs. People might, and I'm pretty lenient, you got to take a bit to push me. People might be banned for abusing other people. I'll give warnings. I'll give corrections. You treat other people with love and respect, and you are totally welcome here. That is the one and only requirement. Treat people with love and respect. It doesn't mean you can't make mistakes. You can't, say, "Oh, I didn't intend it that way." I'm probably the biggest one of oops, I didn't mean it in the way you received it. If you don't receive it the way I mean it, it's my fault. I communicated poorly. So you are absolutely welcome here. No need to feel outcast. I'm watching. I never trust chairs at face value. I'm a sturdy woman, so I need to approach carefully. Otherwise, I'm likely to have I've fallen and I can't get up moment. I've had that a couple times where I had that feeling of, I actually laid there for a minute too, just to go, am I okay? Crusader for him checking in. Thank you, friend. I'm watching. Thank you for passing the cookies. I love that you. Okay, so I have got to redeem a command that you want, and I'm wanting to have cookies to pass, and I just think that's such a blessing. So, Rose Lemon, is it all right if I just call you Rose, or do you like Rose Lemon? I can go either way. Lemino, Rose Lemino. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, friend. And I believe that the Bible is meant to be engaged together in community. It is not for me to sit here and tell you everything that is correct and you to receive it. No, we come to the text together. We come with what we already have as knowledge about it. I might have more, that's okay. You might have more on some passages. That's wonderful. And we listen to it, we see what the Spirit is saying to us, and we share with one another any insights that we have. That's, I believe, how we learn and grow. And when we, and those who have been around know this, when we don't understand something, we admit we don't understand what's in the text. And in the day you don't understand, that's a day for dancing, because in the day that God reveals to you what His Word is intended to teach and say to you, then we'll dance in that day. You don't really care? Okay, Rose. Well, looks like we got ads running in here shortly. So when we have ads, we jump over to the fish. And wow, I knew we were going to be a slow day today, but we've got time. We'll hang out for a while. So going to go over to the fish. The ads are coming in. And I'm going to go big and feed the baby koi.
Pastor Ox's tweet, streaming life by the reeds. Fish pond calm and glassy clear, view it all right from here. Dapper man with sax in hand, plays tunes by his quiet land. Acoustic guitar in the breeze serenades the fish with ease. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song.
Fish being fed, yeah.
Shows the way. Stream it live, come what
Oh, that's a good question. I always want to ask that question, but I never know how long the story is of how did you come about your streamer name?
Life in pond so serene, nature's beauty on
wow, the fish are getting big there. Fish are getting big. By the way, my other channel, if you like the fish. Oh, I need to back up and do this right.
Flat caps charm and calming tone makes the fish feel right at home. Watch the fish, they swim along.
I'll be streaming this weekend. I do have an underwater cam on my other channel.
Flat cat
I think it's great.
Stream it live, come what may.
Yeah, same for you. I like your name. What do most people call you for short? What's funny is every time I say you people, my brain goes, I didn't mean you. I'm watching. I just meant people. When I go, you people, I'll wait until I'm back on cam to do the no cap. I'll start the countdown when I get back. So I'm just gonna take a tour around since we're on this, because they're all at the surface. What's going on? Anything going on there?
Hear the music, gentle glow.
Nope, they're just kind of eating right there at the water's edge on the algae or something growing there.
Watch the fish,
there's something else.
Swim along to the rhythm of his song.
And this is the sunrise sunset cam that is part of one of the things I got about a year in, and then I added this. And the fish cams came about pretty quickly. And here is the guppy cam. Oh, I didn't set up the chum bucket when I cleaned yesterday. I left it knocked over. I need to set up the chum bucket. It's kind of funny that it's knocked over. So there we go. That's everything around. And we'll come back. And I'll start the countdown. There we go. No hat for 5 minutes, which means nothing important needs to be said, because people get confused when I post clips with no hat. I don't know why. Dapper with the good hair. Well, it's adequate. I love this is a welcoming community. Great job, Pastor. Respect. Thank you. it's frankly, it's more important to me than a lot of the other stuff is how we treat one another. It like how can I okay, this was a question that came up in a podcast the other day. You can tell I really don't want Isaiah. Can you? Can you? No, I'm fine with it. I just like to tease about my lack of interest in Isaiah. Podcast the other day, person talking about he's a Christian, sharing some beliefs, and people sent him death threats, claiming to be Christian. How can you be a Christian and send someone death threats? How do you represent Christ and send death threats? Did he not teach you differently? What Bible are you reading where it says, and therefore James and John said, let us call down on those other people that don't believe exactly the same way we did? And Jesus said, you got that right, Holmes. No, he said, no, do not call down fire on them. Anyone who is not against us is for us. Check out the Fabio hair. Yeah, not so much Fabio. I don't have long hair. So glossy. Yeah, I guess I do. Yeah, I don't understand those people either. Stalking with big and long rabbit trails. Yes, I'm stalking the rabbits today. Is there a rabbit out there? Can I go down that rabbit trail? Please lead me down that rabbit trail. Plus, there's a redeem. We can just, keep redeeming rabbit trails all day today. All right, let's get back to the text. If if the Lord of heaven's armies had not left us a few survivors, we would have quickly been like Sodom. We would have been like Gomorrah. Now, the reason Sodom and Gomorrah are mentioned is because of total destruction.
Rose Zero just followed.
Oh, thank you, Rose Lemon. I appreciate that. Yeah, so they're completely destroyed. This is not about, oh, that's what Sodom did. And if it is, then we need to discuss what Sodom did. But it just says they quickly will become like them, total destruction. That's the image there, is total destruction. Listen to the Lord's message, you leaders of Sodom. Pay attention to God's rebuke, people of Gomorrah. So now, they were totally destroyed. You would have become like that. Now we're going to equate you with that. So you're acting like them in your your resistance to listen to God's pleas. Of what importance to me are many sacrifices? So now what are they doing? They are making sacrifices, which you would think, oh, well, that's what we're commanded to do. Shouldn't that please the Lord for me to do the thing? Think about this with any of your kids, or if you have a spouse, and you're grumbling and complaining the whole time you do something, and taking out the garbage, mowing the lawn, whatever it is, mumbling, grumbling. You do a poor job of it, but you got it done. Cleaning up your room, whatever it is, and you go, well, there, it's done. Nobody's excited about that. And God isn't either. If he feels like you aren't loving when you do the things that you do. So, of what importance to me are the many sacrifices, says the Lord. I have had my fill of burnt sacrifices, of rams and the fat from steers, the blood of bulls, lambs, and goats. I do not want. So, mere obedience is not something God wants. God is not looking for people to do busy work. I mean, did you ever have teachers that they just do the busy work, just do the work, just turn it in, just do it? That's not God. God was a teacher. He's not caring about the busy work. He's caring about your attitude, caring about your relationship. When you enter my presence, do you actually think I want this? Animals trampling on my courtyard? Do not bring any more meaningless offerings. I consider your incense detestable. Timer's up. Thank you. Meaningless offerings. I consider them detestable. You observe new moon festival, Sabbath, and convocations, but I cannot tolerate sin-stained celebrations. Ooh, let's see what the footnote says on that. I see a timer, but I have no idea what it's for. Oh, the timer was for the no hat. Yes, so it's a no hat timer. I've got a timer set up now. I can go up to 5 minutes, and so I just set that. So it lets everyone know that I'm not cheating and getting my hat put back on after 2.5 minutes. So all above board here. Okay, so the Hebrew for the celebration, sin and assembly, these two nouns probably represent a hen deities. The point is that their attempts to worship are unacceptable to God because the people's everyday action in the socio-economic realm prove they have no genuine devotion to God. Okay, like how many people go to church on Sunday to try to praise God, and they curse their neighbor on Monday. They curse their coworker on Tuesday, and they curse the stranger on Wednesday, and they berate political adversaries on Thursday. Whatever it is, you're going through the motions shows that you're just going through the motions. When God goes, miss me with that? Or curse the slow driver on the way home from church. Oh, you're bringing it even closer. Or not tip the waitress on Sunday because they're working on Sunday. And then leaving a tract in its place that looks like money. Like what a poor witness and what an insult to people. Like if people could afford to not work on Sunday, and if they weren't forced to work on Sunday, wouldn't you think they would take it off? They would. It's Johnny Darko. I'm a slow driver on the way home from church. Well, I am a slow driver in town. I am not on the interstate. On the interstate, I'm not a slow driver. But in town, I am the slow driver most of the time. What drives me nuts is I have a section of town that it goes from 25 to 35, back to 25, up to 30, then 40, then 50. And there are people who will drive 40 the whole way. Doesn't matter, it's 25, they do 40. When it's 30, they do 40. When it's 40, they do 40. And when it's 50, they do 40. It's like, can't you pay attention? Can't you go closer to what it is? And then there's some people that, they just don't care. And there's people that some part of it's one lane, some part of it's 2 lane. It goes back and forth because of the geography. And sometimes I'm the nuisance person going too slow in the 25. And then they're the nuisance person doing 30, 35, or 40 in the 50, and I'm passing them doing 50. So I'm like, I'll pass you. I'll see you at the next light. Your golf cart life. You haven't gone over 27 miles per hour in like a year. Yep, that's fair. But back to, that's how we treat other people. Are you honking and tailgating and doing other things, and you got a Jesus sticker on the back of your vehicle? When I lived in Dallas, I'm not saying I was a great driver. I learned a whole lot of patience living in Dallas traffic. But I would see people with the fish sticker on their car, or the WWJD, if you remember that, What Would Jesus Do stickers. And I would go, yeah, you're not repping Jesus real well right now. You are not repping Jesus real well with the way that you are treating and driving and doing those things. Just in general, I'm like anti-sticker on my car. So it's like, that's not going to be a thing that I'm going to be known for. But I went, oh, they ain't no way I'm putting a cross or anything representing Jesus and driving in this traffic because I'm not driving like Jesus. I wished I could drive like Moses and just part the seas and drive through the middle, but that doesn't work that way. So if what you do on Sunday is not consistent with the rest of the week, now they would have worshiped at different times. They had all these different celebrations, the Passover celebrations, the new moon, the Sabbath, all of those celebrations that were happening. You go through the motions and you treat people like dirt. God doesn't care. How would you treat people is more important than obedience to an action that's required. Like, you know what? I would, and people don't like when I say this, I would rather you never walk through the doors of a church. I'm not saying don't have a relationship with Jesus and God. I would rather you never walk through the doors of a church and you treat everyone with love than to walk through the doors of the church every Sunday and never love your neighbor. Like, just don't care. You're the problem, not your neighbor. Okay. I hate your new moon festivals and assemblies. They are a burden that I am tired of carrying. Okay, I do want to look up the word hate here. What is the word for hate? Because I've been thinking about this because I hear this phrase often, and I'm not sure I agree with it, where people will say that God hates sin but not the sinner. And I'm like, I know that there's references to it, and I know what people are meaning, but I'm just like, sometimes I feel like people use that as an excuse to hate the person because they're saying they're hating the sin, but then they're treating the person as if they are the sin. So it's a bigger question and nuance. So I'm not saying it's not biblical and we can't do it. I'm just saying I have a bigger question about it. All right, so verse 14, hate. What do we have? Oh, jumped on me. Your new moons and appointed festivals, my soul hateth. Sane. Oops. Sane. It's not going to be sane. It shouldn't be one. It'd be saning. Saning. Soning. Something like that. Let's see.
Strong's H8130. Sane.
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 Sane. Sane D. Hate the D. Sane D. Hey, one shiny penny. Good morning. Okay, so it is to hate. It can be of man, of God, a hater. Saner's gonna sane. 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 I don't know. What's the first use? Okay, and they blessed Rebekah and said to her, thou art our sister, be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gates of those which hate them. Okay, so that would be, may you flourish despite haters, is what we got there with Rebekah. That's interesting. So that was, I think, the blessing that was given to her when she left. So that's the first use of hate. Okay, I'm not going to go deeper into that. Okay, so, like, hate is a strong word. It's intended to be a strong word. Adversarial towards them. Like, God commanded them, but doesn't want it. Doesn't want it. When you spread out your hands in prayer. Okay, so I like noticing. Notice the different ways that prayer posture can happen. Spreading out your hands. Spreading out your hands in prayer. I look the other way. When you offer many prayers, I do not listen because your hands are covered with blood. Okay, the reference of covering with blood is a reference being unclean. It does not have to be literal blood. It is representative here. Yes, this does not just refer to the blood of sacrificial animals, but also blood, as it were, to the innocent victims. Yes, the depriving, the poor, the destitute, of proper legal recourse and adequate access to the economic system the oppressors have, for all intent and purposes, killed their victims. So yeah, they're deepening the. Yeah, I hadn't thought about. Oh yes, the blood of sacrifices, because you're doing the sacrifices, so you have blood on your hands. No, they would have washed that off. So I wasn't even going there. No, the blood on your hands is for the treatment of people: the poor, the widow, the orphan, and the foreigner. The four distinct groups God continually through the Old Testament says these are the ones you need to care for. They are exploiting them, and Isaiah just comes out swinging, condemning the things they're doing to please God and their treatment of other people. You cannot simultaneously claim to love God and hate your neighbor. You can't. They're created in the image of God. And if you're hating your neighbor and treating them such, that is not loving, and love is God, and God is love. So therefore, you do not love. Melchizedek, hey, welcome in. Just feels like God just guided something just now, because I've been thinking about something human procreative thingy for like the last hour. When I scrolled through Facebook Reels, I got this. All right, I'm going to copy that and look at it later. I'll put it in this one. Who the heck is Melchizedek? Oh, cool. Very cool. Christian video thingy, and decided to follow God Bible. You're back yet to take a pill? Well, welcome back. We haven't made it very far, I'm sure, since you left. Wash, cleanse yourself, remove your sinful deeds from my sight. Stop sinning. Learn to do what is right. What is right? Okay, so stop sinning, learn to do what's right. What is right? Promoting justice. That's what's right. Give the oppressed reason to celebrate. Take up the cause of the orphan. Defend the rights of the widow. Oh, there we go. The oppressed, the widow, the orphan, justice. Come, let's consider your options, says the Lord. Though your sins have stained you like the color red, you can become white like snow. Though they are as easy to see as the color scarlet, you can become white like wool. If you have a willing attitude and obey, then you will again eat the good crops of the land. But if you refuse and rebel, you will be devoured by the sword. Know for certain that the Lord has spoken. Okay, so you've done sin, you done messed up, Aaron. You are oppressing the poor, the widow, the orphan, and the foreigner. You are corrupting justice. Your sins are so blatant, so obvious. You're going through the motions, but you're not following after me. You're not loving your neighbor, but you can change. How tragic the once faithful city has become a prostitute. And a prostitute is a statement of being unfaithful. Is the representative, is the one that does not go and stay with, is not true, is not loyal. So it is the opposite of the character that the people of God want to have. Doesn't mean that it's an accusation of physical prostitution. It's a country, a nation, following after other gods. There is the unfaithfulness. Johnny, our society teaches an us versus them approach to culture. Loving your enemy is countercultural and against what we are taught today in the world. Reprogramming ourselves to love our enemies is a huge challenge today, but when you achieve that, peace falls upon you. Totally agree. And it is very prominent. Like, we're just thinking of justice and fairness here. Even when justice might be being carried out in a court case and be deserved and all of that stuff, they will interview the person who was wronged, or a family member of someone who was wronged, and they will say, I will never forgive them. And I just feel so sorry for them. It's like, oh, you're going to carry that burden around all the time with you. That you need to forgive. Melchizedek, you need to put the colon in between there. You need to put it like that. He who is kind to the poor lends to the Lord. Yes, he will reward him for what he has done. Yep. Oh, exactly. Totally, Melchizedek. That's spot on. And Jesus says, whatever you did to the least of these, you did for me. How we treat other people is how we treat God. I don't know how hard that is to understand. I mean, I know how hard it is to understand. I don't mean that. I mean, the doing it sometimes. We're selfish and self-centered, and we want vengeance and all that. I get that. But it really is, no. See them as you want God to see you. So we were talking about them as a prostitute. They are unfaithful to God. She was once a center of justice, fairness resided in her, but now only murderers. So talking about residing in the city. Your silver has become scum. Your beer is diluted with water. Okay, like maybe you don't drink beer. Just think about this. Your coffee has become diluted with water. Have you ever had watered down coffee? I mean, if you're a coffee drinker, it's awful. Awful. Now, it's weird. I can dilute tea. Tea is fine diluted. It's okay. Adding more water doesn't dilute tea. But you add water to coffee, you can taste the water. That's just, bleh. Johnny saying Matthew 5:43 and 44. Yes, so you're putting that in there. You have heard that it hath been said that thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. Yes. Yeah, you're agreeing. Ooh, watered down coffee? No, thank you. You could just keep it. Watered down beer? Ooh, you can just keep it. Now, wine, on the other hand, I'm fine with watered down wine. I'm fine with watered down tea. But beer? No. Coffee? Your officials are rebels. They associate with thieves. All of them love bribery and look for payoffs. They do not take up the cause of the orphan and defend the rights of the widow. So when you hear the orphan and the widow, they can stand in for all four groups. The poor, the widow, the orphan, and the foreigner, they can stand in for all four. Sometimes we can have 3 of them listed. Sometimes we have 4. But anytime you hear 2 of them listed, I think you should be thinking of the whole group of 4. Therefore, the sovereign Lord of heaven's army, the powerful one of Israel, says this. Okay, so in our first section, we had him speaking to heaven and earth as witnesses. Now we've turned and we're talking directly to those people far from God. I will seek vengeance against my adversary. I will take revenge against my enemies. I will attack you. I will purify your metal with flux. I will remove all your slags. This is purification language in metal. I will reestablish honest judges as in former times, wise advisors as in early days. Then you will call the just city faithful town. Zion will be freed by justice, and her return by righteousness. All rebellious sinners will be scattered. Those who abandon the Lord will perish. Indeed, they will be ashamed of the sacred trees being right living, trees being those that are upright, trees sometimes being kings. I mean, trees represent different things. Sacred trees you find so detestable. Could also be knowledge there. The sacred trees you find detestable. You will be embarrassed because of the sacred orchards. where you choose to worship. Chiwa, ooh, that reminds me of my mom's coffee. It wasn't really coffee. It was just lightly colored water that tasted horrible. Yes, Isaiah bringing the thunder. Trees like in Psalm 1. Exactly. Yes, that's a perfect example I'm watching. Yep, exactly. Trees of living, like planted by streams of living water. Yep. Oh, you said the watering it down. My wife complains about growing up as a kid and watered down Kool-Aid and sugarless, like if so there was Kool-Aid and then there was Weiler's, and if you don't know Weiler's, there were other ones out there. There was a cheap knockoff of Kool-Aid. So Kool-Aid, I don't remember what it was totally when I was a kid, but I remember at one point when I was older, Kool-Aid cost 20 cents a packet, and Weiler's cost 7 cents a packet. So you could get a lot more Weiler packets for the price. And so her mom would buy the cheaper one and then only put a third cup of sugar in it instead of a full cup of sugar in there. And then when it was, it makes 2 quarts, well, let's stretch it to 3 quarts, and said, it was awful. Flavor Aid. Oh, yes, that's another one. I'm watching Psalm 1. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on the Lord he doth meditate day and night. He is like a tree planted by the streams of water that yields fruit in its season, and its leaves do not wither. In all that he does, he prospers. Yes, so the tree there, probably a reference, could be a reference, absolutely, to Psalm there. But the symbolism of being something steady and upright and righteous standing. Yes, upright standing. And then there being an orchard. For you will be like a tree whose leaves wither, like an orchard that is unwatered. So you're not producing any fruit. The powerful will be like a thread of yarn, their deeds like a spark. Both will burn them, and no one will put out the fire. So, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to come to your aid and rescue. Here is the message about Judah and Jerusalem that was revealed to Isaiah, son of Amoz. So, what we could have here is a time gap of some time in between there. Yeah, darn. We have a time gap in between the first proclamation, declaration of God revealing to Jerusalem and Israel and Judah. And here we have a second one. We don't have to think of this as one occasion, which this actually is perhaps a decent chapter break. I always, complaining about where chapter breaks are. This would be probably a decent one. In future days, the mountain of the Lord's temple will endure, the most important of mountains. Okay, mountains are dwelling places of the gods. And so when we go to Sinai, that's where you would expect to meet gods. You would expect to meet gods in gardens and mountains. Now, that's not what we think today, but that's the way the ancient people thought. So when you talk about the importance of mountains and the dwelling place of the gods, Mount Olympus, probably one of the best examples of that we might think of. Same what is true for a lot of ancient thinkings. Gardens or mountains are the places where gods would dwell. So that's where the reference is. And we should think when we see mountain of God, Sinai could be what we should be thinking. The mountain of the Lord's temple will endure on the most important of mountains and will be the most prominent of hills. All the nations will stream to it. Okay, maybe we're thinking Jerusalem and the temple because it's on the Temple Mount. So it could just be that one, now that we have the temple language and nation streaming. Many peoples will come and say, come, let us go up to the Lord's mountain, to the temple of the God of Jacob, so he can teach us his requirements and we can follow his standards. Okay, so in the last section, we were being reprimanded for just following the requirements and following the standards. So is this now contradicting that the nations are going to come here to learn the requirements and the standards? No, those will be the practices of their hands, but it's not going to be, the heart is still going to be the most important thing. Let's see with Pastor G. Hey, dropping in from work. Love to see you, dude. Love to see you. I see you around and posting. We haven't chatted in a bit, Pastor G. We need to find some time to catch up, my friend. Get a shout out for Pastor G. If you're not following Pastor G, you should be. You should be. Great pastor. He's on Twitch as well. He's in other places as well. Got a church community. So if you can't make it to my early streams, you can make it to when he's on. I know we keep saying that, LOL. I know. It has been a busy couple of months, my friend. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, there we go. Get some cookies over there. For Zion will be the center for moral instruction. Okay. It's just, okay, so they're making a distinction here of moral instruction. It just is instruction in the original, but they're saying moral instruction. I think that gives a certain connotation to it. That I don't always want to give, because moral instruction doesn't get to the heart of it about attitude. Just because it's moral instruction and upright, I would have gone with righteous instruction, but that's my bias. The Lord's message will issue from Jerusalem. He will judge disputes between nations. He will settle cases for many people. So this is a restoration proclamation. After there's going to be a comeuppance, and there'll be a remnant. Now there'll be restoration. They will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. It's a very common passage people know. Nations will not take up sword against other nation, and they will no longer train for war. Okay. What does this mean for Isaiah's audience? What does this mean for Isaiah's audience? Okay. I want you to think about that. I don't want to keep going on, because this is so commonly talked about as a predictive thing. As a predictive thing. In the future, this will be the case, that nations won't train for war, that swords won't be needed, that they'll take their swords and they'll use them to make implements for gardening. If we don't just go, well, that's future, it's future for Isaiah's people, and it's future for us, we're all hoping that day comes. If we stop, instead of thinking about it's just predictive prophecy, because that's what the default of people's mindset for a while is, oh, it's just predictive, so it hasn't happened yet. Well, how comforting would that have been to, well, let me put it this way. How comforting is that to me today? I find very little comfort in, oh, someday that will happen, when I look around the world and what I see is nations bombing each other. I see tanks invading each other. I see bombs blowing up buildings with innocent people inside. And this goes on every side in every war. Okay, there is no war without civilian casualties. The old line up in rows and shoot each other, probably the closest we ever came to that. But even at then, when we would go invade, that wasn't the case. Maybe the best example, if we honored it, was we send out our hero, you send out your hero, they battle each other, and winner take all, and no one else dies. That we're not doing that. We think might makes right. And so this is future. This gives me no comfort for today. Oh, goody. One day I won't have to walk down the streets of any city and wonder if I'm going to get robbed or beat up by some nefarious person. Or I'm going to get shanked, or I'm going to get shot, or this gives me no comfort today that, oh, someday it will happen. So how could it have given comfort to the people of Israel in Isaiah's day? There has to be some other thing than a future predictive thing, because this is of no value. There was going to come a time when restoration was going to happen and peace was going to be abounding. This isn't meant literally. This is going to mean that symbolically there will be times of peace, though currently you do not feel a time of peace. Currently, you are in a state of oppression. There is such a certainty of peace that you can talk about it in terms of people abandoning the tools of war, which, by the way, one of the things, and there's a list of things that God hates, is people who rush to violence. People who rush to violence is one of the things, I don't remember if it's 7 or 8 that Proverbs talks about. It might be one of those 6 things the Lord hates. No, 7 or 7 things the Lord hates. No, 8. I don't remember which way it goes in Proverbs. And feet that rush to violence is one of them. Well, if we get rid of the weapons and people's hearts are not rushing to violence, then peace, shalom, can take place. So while you don't feel it right now, while you are being oppressed right now, there will be a time when peace will come about. Now that I can get on board with hope. That there will be times where there will be difficulties and trials, and there will be times when I don't have to have the stress. I don't have to have the anxiety around people threatening my life or threatening to take things from me. So, anyway. See, the thing is if you just want to approach things and view them as literal, then that had no meaning to the people in Isaiah's day, at least as I see it. What meaning does that have for me in my day if I just take it literally? Yay, Jesus will come back and that will stop happening. Okay, I don't need to know that. I just want to see Jesus, Continuing. O descendants of Jacob, come, let us walk with the Lord's guiding light. See, there's the thing. Let's chase after God. Let's walk with God in the guiding light. Walk again, if you don't know. Walk is your way of life. The things that you do, the behaviors that you have are your walk. The steps is the attitude, the actions, the behavior, the beliefs, the trust. Walking in and walking with is that submitting to and following. Indeed, O Lord, you have abandoned your people, the descendants of Jacob, for diviners from the east and everywhere. They consult omens, readers, like the Philistines do. Plenty of foreigners are around. The land is full of gold and silver. There is no end to their wealth. The land is full of horses. There is no end to their chariots. The land is full of worthless idols. They worship the product of their own hands, what their own fingers have fashioned. Men bow down to them in homage. They lie flat to the ground to worship. Okay, second posture is prostrate. No, prostrate. I was trying to remember which it was. Yes, prostrate. I thought I said the wrong one. Prostrate. That is face down. Now, prostrate can, in different times, have different meanings. So here they've translated it as lie flat, but if you bow at different levels, the person who is lower is the one who is submissive and is honoring the other. They're giving glory, honor, and praise. And you know what? Lie flat and worship. What is the... I always want to go look at... Okay, that does have both. Since the verbs shakaha and shafal are used later in the discourse to describe how God will humiliate proud men, some understand as a predictive judgment, men will be bowed down, men will be humiliated. However, these prefixed verbal forms with the vav, constructive, appear to carry on the description that precedes and are better taken with the accusation. They draw attention to the fact that human beings actually bow down and worship before the lifeless products of their own hands. Okay. Yes, it's the posture that's happening here. By the way, let's go look up the word for worship here, because the word for worship should have the connotation of bowing down. Okay, we often translate that, let us worship and bow down. They're both submissive terms. Okay, so we are in 2:9. 2:9. And those who are new who don't know, this is blueletterbible.org. I use this to look up the Greek and the Hebrew. There are other sources out there. There are better sources out there, but this is a free source. And I want to be able to do do whatever I do, you can duplicate what I'm doing. So you don't have to do this on your own. Okay. And the mean man bowed down, and the great man humbled himself. Okay, so they're taking humble themselves instead of worship here. Ah. Okay. So, shachah.
Strong's H7817. Shachach.
Very close.
Shachach.
To bow down, to crouch, to bow down, to bow down. So, yes, to be prostrate, to humble, to be reduced, to be weakened. So, this can be something you voluntarily do, or it can be something done to you. So, for instance, if you've ever seen someone that refuses to bow down, and then, in movies or shows, and then two people force them, one of the things they often do is bash them on the back of the knee or grab their shoulders, force them to the ground, and then they have to kneel, and they are being humbled. They're being humiliated by forcing them into that posture. The other thing is sometimes the bowing down can simply be a head bob. Sometimes it's a leaning forward from the waist. Sometimes it's down on one knee. Sometimes it's down on both knees. Sometimes this can be laying flat. These can all relate to the same thing. That's why the one is saying crouching of a wild beast in a lair. Like it is down on all fours. And sometimes the picture of this should be we get down on all fours. Okay, let's see what the other word means. Shafale. Shafale.
Strong's H8213. Shaphael.
Shafale. To be or become low, to sink, to be humbled, be abased. Ooh, we don't use that word very often. To show abasement. Like, I like the image here of if you think of the times when you had swords and spears, right? If I expose the back of my neck like this, my head is lowered. The back of my neck is exposed. I cannot see if you're going to take and strike me. I cannot defend if you're going to come and strike me. And I have exposed a very vulnerable spot by giving you the back of my neck. So I am lowering myself, humiliating myself, abasing myself, giving honor and status to the other. So both of these have, so one I think has an attitude of the posture was the first one, but I think this one has the attitude within. So the one would be the verb of action, and the other would be the verb of cause. So I am taking this posture because I am being humble. I'm being gracious. And we translate that as worship. The problem, I think, when we translate it as worship is simply a modern problem, okay? That we have reduced, the same way that I think we've reduced prophecy. We've reduced prophecy to only being predictive. We've reduced worship to only what happens in a church building on a Sunday morning and involves singing. That's what we think worship is. We think worship is the act of singing together corporately on a Sunday morning. That's worship. No, worship in this word is about attitude. The other word is about posture. So hope that helps. That's why I took the time to look up worship. Okay, so let's bow down to them in homage. They lie flat to the ground. Yeah, so they were using the homage here. The lying flat to the ground in worship. Don't spare them. Get up from the rocky cliffs. Hide in the ground. Get away from the dreadful judgment of the Lord, from his royal splendor, proud men will be brought low. Okay, so here's the parallel. You can humble yourself or you can be brought low. Arrogant men will be humiliated. The Lord alone will be exalted in that day. I'm trying to think of an example of that, of where you can either volunteer to confess and make yourself less, and it turns out better than if you wait and have it forced upon you. But I can't think of a good example of that. But I know there's several in movies where those kinds of things will happen, where a person delays in doing something or sharing something, and then what actually happens ends up being worse because of the delay in that. Indeed, the Lord of heaven's armies has planned a day of judgment. Okay, so I'm going to say a day of the Lord. Indeed, for the Lord of heaven's armies traditionally, oh, they're just talking about the Lord of hosts. I wondered about the day of judgment there. Okay, let me look at that. Sorry, just all of a sudden thinking, do I have anything? No. We're good to hang out for a while today. Okay, so judgment. What does verse 12 say for judgment? The day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon every proud and lofty, and upon every lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Okay. So it's not day of the Lord language. That's all I was looking to see. Because they were saying Lord of heaven's hosts, day of judgment. That's why they're saying brought low. I just wanted to check what that was. For all the high and mighty, for all who are proud, they will be humiliated. For all the cedars of Lebanon that are so high and mighty, and for all the oaks of Bashan. So here's the prestige. Those who are prestigious, those who are honored. Ooh. For all the tall mountains, for all the high hills, for every high tower, for every fortified wall, for all the large ships, for all the impressive ships. Proud men will be humiliated. Arrogant men will be brought low. The Lord alone will be exalted in that day. Ooh. Sorry, just making a connection here. So you've got all these impressive things, and you've got the proud men and the arrogant men, who probably are either the owners or the builders of such things. And what do they want from all of the things that they have? They want all the accolades of, hey, man, I own that. Oh, man, you're awesome. Hey, I built it. Oh, my goodness, that's amazing. Like just think about when you own, and I'm not picking on anybody that does own these vehicles, but there's some people with this attitude. Like when I own one Ferrari, and then I need to have a Lamborghini to go next to it, and then I need to have a Rolls Royce next to it. What am I trying to convey and say? What is it that I want people to know about me? I want those things to speak on my behalf, to show how great and powerful I am. Right? I'm not saying everybody has that. Some people just, want to enjoy the car. They hide it away. They take it out. They're not trying to brag. But, when you've got those people with a whole garage of lots and lots of cars that they're trying to show off and say, look at how great and mighty and powerful I am. That's our modern day equivalent of having all the horses and chariots. The worthless idols will be completely eliminated. They will go into caves in the rocky cliffs and into holes in the ground, trying to escape the dreadful judgment of the Lord and his splendor. Okay, so the holes in the ground, let me just see there. Is that a reference to holes in the earth? Yeah, they will go into the dust. Yeah, I was thinking, is that underground? Like the realm of the dead. They will try to escape death by hanging out in the underworld. Maybe. Trying to escape the Lord in his royal splendor when he rises up to terrify the earth. At that time, men will throw their silver and gold, which they made for themselves to worship, into the caves where rodents and bats live. So they're going to attempt to hide these things. They're going to throw them in these places when devastation is coming. You're going to go try to hide your goods and hope you can come back later. There are people that in the southern U.S. occasionally stumble upon Civil War gold stashes or silver stashes or precious things that were hidden in the middle of the war. When war was coming, they hid things. They hid things, hoping to return later and retrieve them. So this is trying to escape judgment and maybe be able to return later. So they themselves can go into the crevices in the rocky cliff and the openings under the rocky overhangs, trying to escape the dreadful judgment of the Lord and his royal splendor. Look at the repetition. When he rises up to terrify the earth. Stop trusting in human beings whose life's breath is in their nostrils. For why should they be given special consideration? I'm gonna write that one down. That one is t-shirt worthy. That one is t-shirt worthy. Pens are way over here. For some reason my pen next to me is missing. So, there I see him. Couldn't see him next to me. So Isaiah 2:22. That is a good t-shirt material. Because that's so applicable today. And yes, when I say that, these are intentionally somewhat intended to be out of context so that they will be provocative and people go, what? And you go, yeah, let's have a conversation about that. But still think this is true. This is true of them. They were trusting in human beings, their military might, their king to deliver them, who only has the life God gave them in them. And when you're elevating these people instead of seeking and trusting after God. And that's in a reference too, as well, to the idols above and the people that made them, and they're hiding, and you think you're going to deliver them. Stop trusting in human beings. For why should they be given special consideration? I think this is true today. Like, if you're in the U.S., which I know most of you in my stream are, about 75% of you are in the U.S., why give special consideration to the nominees? Let me just break this down. Let's see, whatever the promises were, I can go back to, trying to think what the election was, 92. I can go back to 1992. The promises that were made by the losing candidate doesn't matter because they lost. But I remember what the promises were. And the promise they made prior to that was that they would not raise taxes. I think the reason they lost re-election was they raised taxes. So they won in 88, they lost in 92. They made a promise, they didn't keep it. Why can we trust him? He didn't keep his promise. He needs to go. Then the next one came in with promises. I don't think he held the promises. Now, I'm not automatically saying that it was his fault that the promises weren't kept. You've got a whole bunch of other people to deal with. You've got a whole bunch of ways in order for stuff to be enacted. Presidents can't keep their promises, okay? And it's not always their fault. Like the previous one, there was a reason why they caved and they did the thing that they didn't plan to do, that they said they wouldn't do, because in order to get the things that they wanted to do, they had to agree the things that they didn't want. And that's always been true. That's the way our system is set up and designed. So the next one comes in after that, makes promises. Did they keep all their promises? No. Did the one that come in after that keep all of their promises? No. Did the one after that? No. So do I think that either of the two main parties or any of the third parties, because yes, I pay attention to those, are going to keep their promises if they're president? No. One, they make promises that sometimes seem contradictory. They promise one group of people one thing, another group another thing. Why? Because they're trying to get votes, so they say what they need to. Sometimes I think it's with good intention, sometimes it's with bad intention. Doesn't matter. When they get in office, can they actually keep the things they do? No. So why do we keep trusting in saying, oh, if we just get the right person, it'll fix it? Stop trusting in people. Stop trusting in people to fix the problems of life. It's never worked out that way for any group of people ever, that you can trust the person in charge, the people in charge, to fix it all. Can't happen. If that were the case, all we would need is the law that says do not murder, and people would be obedient to it. Clearly, that hasn't worked in any society ever that's outlawed murder, because it still happens. So, what can we trust in? Let's see what it says. Look, the sovereign Lord of Heaven's army is about to remove from Jerusalem and Judah every source of security, including all the food and water. So you think you're secure in the safety of the building? Oh, you can outlast anything. Well, let me see how long you last with no food and water. Now, if we actually speed forward a bit, when this all does happen, in fact, that's what happens, is they lose food and water, and you can't last when the food and water run out. The mighty men and warriors, judges and prophets, omen readers and leaders, captains of groups of 50, the respected citizens, advisors, and those skilled in magical arts, and those who know incantations. The Lord says, I will make use their officials, malicious young men who will rule over them. What? Okay, my brain is just going, what did he say? And when we were reading through, who were the young? I know that Josiah was young, but he wasn't ruthless. I'm trying to think of the ages when we just finished reading through Chronicles of how old Amnon and Jehoaz, Jehoiakim, Jehoiachin, if some of them were young, because those would all, wait. Could also be, depending on when this comes, if that is Jotham or Ahaz. Anyway, so they would have seen when these young people came, that's not good. But it's malicious for sure. Chief characteristics are, yes, the substituted for the leaders themselves. Okay. So it's just saying, oh, we got an ad break. Sorry. Did not see that coming. So let's go check out the fishing.
Flat cap past the rocks is tween, streaming life by the reeds. Fish pond calm and glassy clear, view it all right from here. Dapper man with sax in hand plays tunes by his quiet land. Acoustic guitar in the breeze serenades the fish with ease. Watch the fish, they swim along to the rhythm of his song. Flat Cap Pastor shows the way, stream it live come what may. With his cam he shows it all. Little fish,
let's look at the guppies too, because I just fed them. I don't think I've fed the guppies in a while. Let's see if we can find any of the babies in there. So I was watching when I was cleaning it out. There's some little tiny ones in there. They don't always show
the
up.
Music, gentle glow, Flat Cap's charm and calming tone makes the fish feel right at home. Watch the fish.
Lucis, what does the gold even do?
To the rhythm of his song.
What does the gold even do? Not familiar with the gold.
Shows the way. Stream it live, come what may.
Yeah, I can see a couple of them. Look right there in front of Squidward. There's one of the babies. There's some smaller ones than that, but that's one of the babies right there, getting bigger.
Refuse Cammy shows it all. Little fish, both big and small.
So,
Life in the
anyway,
pond so serene. Nature's beauty on a screen.
there's no contest currently running it. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's Streamlabs money. Okay.
Watch the
Well, if that's Streamlabs money, then you certainly would be able to buy in for the t-shirt giveaways tomorrow. If you buy extra tickets, you should be able to use those funds. Okay. Yeah, I would have done a roulette spinner. Okay. The people will treat each other harshly. Men will oppose each other's neighbors will fight. Youths will proudly defy the elderly. And riffraff will challenge those who were once respected. So this is what is going to happen when you make these young hooligans officials. And when are you going to do that? In the middle of desperate times. Indeed, a man will grab his brother right in his father's house and say, "You own a coat? You be our leader. This heap of ruins will be under your control." So there's going to be so desperate because we get to the end here and we have Jehoaz is leader and like for 3 months. And then Jehoiakim is set up. And then Jehoiachin is set up about 10 years later. And then he's only there for like a year. And then Zedekiah is set up. So we have a king that's like 3 months, a king that's like 9-10 years, then a king that's less than a year or just over a year, and then another king. So like in this turbulent times that are coming, it's not going to be good. You're going to go, "Hey, you got a coat, you go do it. You go, yeah, I don't want you're qualified." At time the brother will shout, "I am no doctor. I have no food or coat in my house. Don't make me a leader of the people." Jerusalem certainly stumbles. Judah falls. For their words and their actions offend the Lord. They rebel against his royal authority. The look on their faces testifies to their guilt. Oh, I like noticing when people have nervous tics of some kind, or they have a tell. Like when a person can't look you in the eye when you ask them a question. Like they have to look away to answer before coming up with, like, that's a tell that, and it can be a tell for different things, but it can be a tell that they're not telling the truth. If someone laughs a lot when asked about something, and they're laughing about something that's serious, that could be a sign of dishonesty. People's postures, people's behaviors are things that give you clues if they're being honest or dishonest. Okay, so the look on their faces testifies to their guilt, like the people of Sodom that openly boasted of their sin. So it's not gonna be good. I'm an ambivert, so my eye contact can swing from shifty to staring into your soul. Uncle Teddy, Kamala laughing. Yeah, I suspect that some of her. Now, I'm not saying that why she does it. It could just be nervous laughter too. But I'm saying those are clues. There's other clues besides those, but that's just one that comes to mind easily that you can see without having to read into it. The averting of the eyes when you talk to someone, which is not always easy to see, but the laughter that everybody can hear and see. Yeah, I'm gonna avert my eyes. Okay. Woe to them, for they bring disaster on themselves. Tell the innocent, it will go well with them, for they will be rewarded. Sorry, I just scrolled and lost my place. There it is. Sometimes jumps back. They will be rewarded for what they have done. Woe to the wicked sinners. Okay, I'm counting woes. We're at the second woe. Woe to wicked sinners, for they will get exactly what they deserve. Oppressors treat my people cruelly. Creditors rule over them. My people Your leaders mislead you. They give you confusing directions. The Lord takes his position to judge. He stands up to pass sentence on his people. The Lord comes to pronounce judgment on the leaders of his people and their officials. He says, it is you who have ruined the vineyard. You have stashed in your houses what you have stolen from the poor. Why do you crush your people and grind the faces of the poor? The sovereign Lord of the heaven's army has spoken. Okay, so it looks like just two. Maybe we won't have more. I laugh when I'm nervous, but then I laugh at almost anything. Yeah. As I said, the cause can be other things besides laughter. It can be nervousness. Well, just like any filler things can be a sign of that too. But those filler things can also be a sign that you're trying to think. I'm watching. I also have a childhood of verbal abuse and intimidation, and sometimes eye contact is uncomfortable. True. Abuse can lead to that as well as dishonesty. Yeah. That's what I'm saying is I'm not saying that these are always the sign that, sorry, this one piece of hair is bugging me. But those can point to things. That's all I was saying. So what is the face there? That's why I was talking about it. The Lord says, the women of Zion are proud. They walk around with their heads high and flirt with their eyes. They skip along, and the jewelry on their ankles jingles. On their feet jingle. Okay, well, if you say on their feet, it could be attached to their shoes versus their ankle. So I would have left it with feet, but again, depending upon language, I don't know in Hebrew if there's a distinction between feet and ankles. For instance, in Greek, the word hand, the wrist is also the same word. There is no distinction between the word for wrist and the word for hand in Greek. We have palm, we have wrist, we have hand, we have many words in English, but the Greek doesn't. So when it says the nails in his hands, they would have went here. They would have went here, but our understanding of hand put it here. Yes, cankles. The jewelry on their cankles. Very funny. That image is going to stay in my head for a while. So the Lord will afflict the foreheads of Zion's women with skin disease, and the Lord will make the front of their heads bald. So, like the prestigious thing that's going to allure you, like if I'm coming to you and right here I see skin disease, I'm not coming to you. Like even if I have a veil that's covering me to whatever, the skin disease isn't going to be hidden. It's still going to be there. At that time, the Lord will remove their beautiful ankle jewelry, neck ornaments, crescent-shaped ornaments. I was trying to put all three of those words into one word. Crescent-shaped and ornament into one word. Did not work. Earrings, bracelets, veils, headdresses, ankle ornaments. Okay, what is the ankle jewelry and ankle ornaments different? I just don't care enough to look that up. I think this is an extended list, so we're gonna throw everything we can throw in there. Sashes, sachets, amulets, rings, nose rings, festive dresses, robes, shawls, purses, garments, vests, head coverings, and gowns. Like anything you can do to make it look all better. Come back at an interesting time. Yeah, Pasio, we're talking about skin disease because we're not following God. So, yep. A putrid stench will replace the smell of spices. A rope will replace a belt. Baldness will replace braided locks of hair. This is on women still. A sackcloth garment will replace a fine robe, and prisoners' brands will replace beauty. Your men, okay, so now we've shifted. Your men will fall by the sword. Your strong men will die in battle. Her gates will mourn back to the city and lament. Deprived of her people, she will sit on the ground. 7 women will grab hold of one man at a time. They will say, we will provide our own food. We will provide our own clothes, but let us belong to you. Take away our shame. Okay. So is this shame? I wonder if that applied to acne or facial birthmarks. No. If we go back in Leviticus and describe the way the diseases has to do with whiteness on the skin and some other things that are mentioned. So a birthmark would not be something they should know and understand what that is, even if it appeared on the face, and they would certainly know acne, I would think, as well. So, but they, might be one of those things like when boils and stuff happen that you would be separated for being unclean, but it would not be the same level of having to be outside the city and go through all that stuff. So yeah, interesting thought there. Okay, so we have 7 women grabbing one man at a time. Like they're all fighting over him. Let's see what the footnote says. See if they have anything in the footnote. The master, the Lord of Heaven's army, traditionally, they're just talking about the Heaven's army. Oh no, that must be the wrong footnote. Yeah, because here it's will provide and that says food, so that's not the right. There we go. The 7-to-1 ratio emphasizes the great disparity and will exist in the population due to the death of so many men in battle, but also, let's not go past this. 7. The number of totality of completeness. Like it's like if every woman was chasing the same man. Like if every woman was chasing the same man. There are not enough. That's the symbolism here. 7-to-1. 7 total. Totally outnumbered. They're all coming after. Like you don't even have to give us a dowry. You don't even have to provide for us. We just want to have the security that you can bring to us. Take our shame away. Unrelated, I'm watching, but I'm curious. Did all the 12 disciples belong to the 12 tribes? And if so, were any of the mixed birth? Well, we do not know with certainty all of them. But we have brothers, Peter and Andrew, so that and James and John are brothers. So if you got 2 brothers and two brothers, if there are not mixed households, you have eliminated the coverage of the 12. We also know that John is able to go into the courtyard of the high priest because he is related, which means that John, the disciple, has to have some Levitical lineage within him. And his father, being Zechariah, also would be a Levite because he was working in the temple. So he would be a priest. So we have the Levitical line in John, and Jesus is a relative there. So we can deduce some, and then yes, I think we can assume that intermarriage between the people could have more of them represented there. Whether it's fully all 12 or not, I don't think is important. They're all descendants of Jacob, and there were 12 of them to represent the 12. So yes, John the Baptist. Yes. Right. Yes, John the Baptist, not John the cousin, but I believe John. Well, no. Sorry, no, I did not mean John the Baptist. No, John the Apostle. I mixed the two up. Yes, Zechariah being the father was John the Baptist. I mixed that up. John the Apostle was able to get into the courtyard, which means he too also had to have Levitical. I conflated the two there as I was talking about it. I switched my Johns in my head. but John the Apostle was able to, when Jesus was crucified, get into the courtyard and have Peter come in with him. So if John is not related to the Levites, he doesn't have a way to get into the high priest courtyard. So yeah, we do know at least several, and then Judah would be assumed because they're in the south. And I haven't studied all of it. Somebody probably has that together. If you want to go search that out more, somebody's probably done some genealogical studies and the clues in the text to talk about all the different people. So, good question, though. All right, so 7 women looking for their shame to be taken away. Now, is that the shame of what they had been doing and needing to be provided for, or the shame of no one willing and wanting to marry them? Oh, I'm just saying that's the extent of which I've explored it. There could be more. There could be more. In case you were thinking you wanted to dig deeper. At that time, the crops given to the Lord will bring admiration and honor. The produce of the land will be a source of pride and delight to those who remain in Israel. So, when you are desperate and destitute, and you bring gifts and offerings, now I know they're from your heart. Those, when you are in a famine and you give to God, when you don't have enough to provide for yourself, but you still give because you are grateful for what you have, now you're a cheerful giver. A cheerful giver can often have less to give than someone who's just going through and doing the letter of the law, which we had before. He's like, I don't want all your stuff. I don't need it. Papstio, yes, good question. And the thing about John has me needing to look up some more info. Yeah, John was able to get through. So it is speculation on how he was related, but I think that speculation could go to being Levitical roots. Somewhere in John, James and John, and they're related to Jesus, there is a Levitical line. Now that can be from marriage. So because Elizabeth, that's the other John, is Mary's cousin. James and John, maybe they're related to Jesus. To Joseph. To Joseph could be. I don't know. I haven't studied that part enough to keep it straight in my head. Those remaining in Zion, those left in Jerusalem, will be called holy. Remember, holy is set apart. All in Jerusalem who are destined to live. At that time, the Lord will wash the excrement from Zion's women. He will rinse the bloodstains from Jerusalem's midst. So, the excrement. Let's see what the footnote says on that before I add anything. The word refers elsewhere to vomit and fecal material. So, depending on the context, it is the thing expelled from a person. Many English versions render this somewhat euphemistically as filth. Ironically, in God's sight, the beautiful jewelry described earlier is nothing but vomit and feces, for it symbolizes they like the word moral decay. I do not like that. Moral decay of the city's residents and moral filth. Because moral just to me seems like my internal part, not how I treat people. Righteous actions seem to be outward expression of it. I don't know. Maybe that's my bias towards the word moral. Has to do with my thinking and my internal status, not my external actions. So they're going to be cleaned. That's the point. As he comes to judge and bring devastation. Okay, so they're going to be cleaned as he brings judgment and devastation. Then the Lord will create over all Mount Zion and over its convocations a cloud of smoke by day and a bright flame of fire by night. What? Smoke by day, fire by night? The imagery of the cloud by day and the fire by night recalls the days of Moses when the cloud and the fire were tangible reminders that the Lord was guiding and protecting his people. In the future age, envision the Lord's protective presence will be a reality. A cloud by day and smoke and brightness of fire, a flame by night is the Hebrew, though the accents in the Hebrew text suggest otherwise. It might be preferable to take smoke with what follows, since one would expect smoke to accompany fire. Okay. Yeah, sounds familiar. Exactly. Also, we can otherwise think about when the tabernacle was built, that the smoke filled the whole place and fire lit the altar. We can then think about the temple being built when smoke filled the place and fire lit the altar. We could think of Elijah when he calls down fire from heaven. Fire and smoke are the presence of heaven. And when God came down in fire and smoke, the workers, the priest and the Levites, could not carry out their duties because the smoke and fire, which was called the glory of God, resided and filled the whole place, and people weren't able to be in there. So I don't think we have to think of this literally, that this is going to be smoke and fire. No, it's going to be God's presence will return. You have driven God away. When all who have driven God away are taken away, the presence of God will be free to return. That's the thing we should be thinking about. Indeed, a canopy will accompany the Lord's glorious presence. By day, it will be a shelter to provide shade from the heat, as well as safety and protection from the heavy downpour. I will sing to my love, a song to my lover about his vineyard. My love had a vineyard on a fertile hill. Okay, what are we talking about here? Israel viewing herself as the Lord's lover refers to herself as a vineyard. The metaphor has sexual connotations. I was thinking that. For it pictures her captivity to satisfy his appetites and produce children. Okay, there we go. Therein lies the connection. There is, when there's restoration, new children will come out of the relationship. There'll be new children of God. Okay, got it. Therefore, the bride, the lover language. I was thinking, boy, that really sounds like Ecclesiastes. He built a hedge around it, removed the stones, and planted a vineyard. He built a tower in the middle of it and constructed a winepress. He waited for it to produce edible grapes, but it produced sour ones instead. Okay, so this is describing the relationship with Israel as a vineyard. This is what he did. He did all of this, and then this is what they produced. So the producing is your fruit. Your way of life became sour grapes instead. So now, residents of Jerusalem, people of Judah, you decide between me and my vineyard. What more can I do for my vineyard beyond what I have already done? When I waited for it to produce edible grapes, why did it produce sour ones instead? Now I will inform you what I am about to do to my vineyard. I will remove its hedges and turn it into pasture. I will break its walls and allow animals to graze there. So what is the language of this? The once prominent vineyard, which had the protection of the vineyard owner, will be released to the elements, released to scavengers to do whatever it wants, and it's going to end up destroyed. I will make it a wasteland. No one will prune its vines and hoe its garden. The thorns and briars will grow there. I will order the clouds not to drop any rain on it. Indeed, Israel is the vineyard of the Lord's heaven's armies. Just thinking there, I will not allow rain to drop on it. Famine is the symbol of wrong standing spiritually. So a drought precedes that. So the no rain is a spiritual statement there. The people of Judah are the cultivated place in which he took delight. He waited for justice, but look what he got. Disobedience. He waited for fairness, but what he got, cries for help. Okay, so God wanted you to distribute justice. You didn't do it. He wanted you to have fairness. You did not do it. Cain was afraid that he would be killed because he didn't have God's protection. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he needed God's protection to keep him from having justice carried out upon him, or vengeance, I should say, not justice. Beware those who accumulate houses, who also accumulate field after field until there is no land left. And you are the only landlord remaining within the land. Ooh. Wonder why we don't preach this on Sunday. The Lord of Heaven's armies told me this. Many houses will certainly become desolate. Large, impressive houses will have no one living in them. Indeed, a large vineyard will produce just a few gallons, and enough seeds to yield several bushels will produce less than a bushel. Okay, seed here is going to be the descendants of, so we're back to the vineyard, but we're still talking about the people. Beware those who get up early to drink beer, those who keep drinking long after dark until they are intoxicated with wine. They have stringed instruments, tambourines, flutes, and wine at their parties. So they do not recognize what the Lord is doing. They do not perceive what he is bringing about. So those who are just partying aren't realizing what's happening. Therefore, my people will be deported because of their lack of understanding. Their leaders will have nothing to eat. Their masses will have nothing to drink. So death will open up its throat and open wide its mouth. Zion's dignitaries and masses will descend into it, including those who revel and celebrate with her. Sorry, I don't have it where it shows me those immediately unless I open them up. Oh no, it's just turned off. The guide to rate is just turned off. I didn't turn it back on. That's all. That's all. Just something I didn't get around to turn it back on. I turned it off for last week, and that was all I intended. And I just didn't turn it back on this week. Okay. We did that. Death opening its throat up. So this is like going down to the grave. What we should image here: death opening its throat up, opening its mouth wide. There was a place where the people were rebelling against God. I want to say it was the rebellion of Korah, but I might have it wrong on both. Yeah, I did read both. I only answered the one though. It opened up and it swallowed people alive down to death. It swallowed people alive. We should be having that in mind. And if we are following after that in rebellion, God's done it before. He'll do it again. Zion's dignitaries and masses will descend into it. So the prestigious, those who think they're better than everyone else, including those who revel and celebrate within her. Men will be humiliated. They will be brought low, and the proud will be brought low. This image has come back again. Parallel here. We went around, we're coming back, we're hearing it again. So we had a message brought. We're in the middle of a second message brought. If I missed it, we switched to a third. I can't always keep track. Thank you, Lucis. Spot of tea. Earl Grey today. Oh my, I love God to bits, and he's so God of love, as I say often, but he's also, don't play. Yeah, it's like, I've warned you, I've told you, and even Isaiah is saying that, remember, there's a chance to return, but in case you don't want to, let me tell you what's going to happen to you. So this is like, if you were told and warned to not do something by a parent, and then you're like doing it, and then they say, don't ever do it again, and then they go, and let me tell you what's going to happen when you do. You're going to lose your privileges for your vehicle. It's going to be impounded, and you're going to be grounded, and you're not going to be able to go anywhere, and I'm going to have to chauffeur you everywhere you go. And your phone privileges are taken away, and your internet privileges are taken away, and you're going to have to do the dishes every day, and you're going to be the one in charge of all the laundry, making sure that all the laundry around the house is picked up, and you're going to be cleaning the bathrooms, and you're going to have to walk the dog, and you're going to have to clean up after the dog. The dog kennel needs cleaned. You're going to be doing that. And that's what God's doing here. He's doing here. You wanna go out on that limb with me. I can make your life miserable because I'm the one blessing you with everything that you have. So you want to go that route? We're going to go there. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The Lord of heaven's armies will be exalted when he punishes. Yes, see, look at punishment exalts. The holy God's authority will be recognized when he judges. Lambs will graze as if, in their pastures. Amid the ruins of rich sojourners will graze. Beware those who pull evil along using cords of emptiness are as good as dead, who put sin as the cart, pull sin as the cart ropes. That's interesting. And you're going to learn how to catch a bus. Because ain't your chauffeur. Okay, there we go. Yep. The mountain, hey, dude. Oh, it's so good to see you. Sorry, I've been so long. My sleep schedule is garbage lately with the uptake. I was hopeful that it was just a work schedule thing that I had not seen you. So I DM'd you, just let you know, thinking about, care for your friend. But I know you have a schedule. It was just more a matter of, I have this conviction. If God brings somebody to mind, then I need to get in touch with them. And so when he brought you to mind, I just wanted to reach out and connect with you. So that's all. Hey, Temple Snail and Hap, welcome in. Good to see you. You're all good? Okay, well, I do know that you've been in the hospital a few times, but I did kind of think if you're in the hospital, that usually means you get to be on your phone a lot. So I kind of thought it was probably the schedule, but just also wanted to check in on you, friend. A minor infection? Okay. They say, let him hurry. Let him act quickly so we can see. Let the plan of the Holy One of Israel take shape and come to pass, and then we will know it. Like, if you don't act like the God of Elijah and bring down fire and brimstone now, we just don't think God's going to act. Like, hurry up and do it, God. I got no time to wait. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Got nicked by a rusty nail, just a scratch, but you got some kind of bacteria. Oh, that's not good. Hopefully your tetanus is up to date, which I'm assuming it would be. And Pasta North is here. Happy Friday. Good morning. Good to see you, friend. Blessed Friday. It is. It is. It's a fire. You got a second one just in case. Yeah. Well, when I just had my fall, which is all doing good, by the way. Anybody who hasn't seen me in a bit since I had that, the only concern after being patched up was infection, and they gave me an antibiotic for that, and my tetanus shot had only been 4 years, but they gave me a new one anyway. Grab my shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. Y'all, you like my shirt? Hey, thanks, friend. I like little quirky, fun designs that... Here, I'll show you closer. So, it's got a little bit of, you know, I don't know what culture you want to put it in, but geometric shapes that look like they are, you know, maybe Aztec or Mayan or anything else. Yeah, well, I do not like needles at all, friend. So I'm okay with the prick of it and my body reacts or whatever. I just don't want to watch. Like I'm okay as long as you don't make me watch. I'll be okay. And the news at times, especially during COVID, this drove me nuts. The news at times loves to say, and this might be difficult for some people to watch, and then they put on horrific things, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But during COVID, they never once said, hey, by the way, we're going to show an injection happening here with a needle. I've never seen the news give a warning. I'm sorry. I don't want to see a needle going into somebody's body. It's disturbing. I can't stand it. Give me a warning so I can look away. No, never once do they give me a warning about that. All right, rant over. Beware those who call evil good and good evil, who turn darkness into light and light into darkness, who turn bitter into sweet and sweet into bitter. Oh, woe to those who call. Okay, so here they put it as a beware. Interesting. When we had it before, they put a woe. Here they didn't. They just put a beware. Wonder why they chose to do that. See the note in verse 8. Okay, was there one there? Let me see that note. Beware those who accumulate houses. Oh, okay, so let me go up to verse 8's got to be up here at the top. Okay, let me just mark this. We're at verse 20. I didn't see the note on verse 8. There must have been a beware there. Okay. Didn't realize it was a woe. So see the note on verse 8. There's no note. Woe to those who make houses. So they've changed the woe to beware. I get that's modern language, but my brain doesn't connect it to a woe, a warning. Yeah, beware is a warning, but it doesn't have that, in my mind, same kind of level of, oh, this is not good. All right. I'll get a few tattoos with my nerves being the way they are. It hurts more. Oh, okay. Okay. Whoa! Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have the oomph. You're clipping. I'm not a needle fan. Okay. I did wonder if the footnote is just who call good evil and evil good, and I'm going to assume that this is just Tov for good and Ra for evil. Yet all is clip fodder. I know. So let's go. We are at 520. I just want to verify it's not different words for good and evil here. Okay, so 520. So Tov is good. And the way I remember that is God is Tov good. He is Tov good. That's how I remember that. Evil, Ra, good, Tov. Yes. It's just Tov and Ra. So, Hoy, Amar, Ra, Tov, Tov, Ra. So that'll be how I would read it. Pretty close to, I think, how it's supposed to be. Yeah, cannon fodder, but for clips. Exactly. Only for clips. Okay. Shots fired. Beware those who think they are wise, those who think they possess understandings. Okay. He's Tove good to me. Yes, exactly. Anyway, we've got some woes here. It's going to be harder for my brain to register these. I know how to do it. I'll just go back down here to where we were. We were 22. I'll do it in a minute. Oh, those who are wise. 22. Beware those who are champions at drinking, who display great courage when mixing strong drinks. They pronounce the guilty innocent for a payoff. They ignore the just cause of the innocent. Therefore, a flaming fire devours straw, and dry grass disintegrates in flames, and their root will rot, and their flower will blow away like dust. For they have rejected the law of the Lords of heaven's armies. They have spurned the commands of the Holy One of Israel. Okay, I want to go back to the beware here a minute. So verse 22. Actually, we don't have to go to verse 22. This is going to give me my woes here. So we know in verse 8 is a woe. Here's woes for the wicked. Verse 8. Okay. When I was drinking, Mountain says I'd do just about anything for another. Yes, yeah, and that's the nature of it is getting into that pattern and needing more of it. So what I want to do is count the woes here to see how many there were. So I'm just going to scroll because it will give me other places in Scripture. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 woes in this section. 5, 6 woes. Okay. 6 woes. The number of man, 6. So it's not a total woe. There's not 8 or 7 of them. There's not totality in it. Mountain, at my peak, I had something like 13 shots in one night. Woo! That's a lot. Glad you are doing better. God is toe good. It's Tove. It's or depending on your spelling here. Oh, I didn't click on him actually. Tobe? No, it's Tobe.
Strong's H 2896. Tove.
So, yeah, not toe. Boker toe. What is Boker? Man, I can't think of it. Then I followed with 4 more. Oh my goodness. Darn. Yeah, it's not toe good. God is no. Oh, that's all right. Boker toe. What is that from? My brain is. Good morning. Okay. Like, I know something. My brain just can't get there. Oatmeal. Oh, okay. I can't even tell you the last time I had oatmeal. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Let us have our fun. Oh, yes. I go there to try to help, and I don't always get it right. My pronunciation is based on the letters they're trying to show me, and then they pronounce them different than the way that I pronounce the letter they show me. That's my problem. Okay. Okay. We're at 24. Therefore, as flaming fire devours... Oh, we did that. We went to the armies there. Okay. So the Lord is furious with his people. He lifts his hands and strikes them. The mountain shakes. The corpses lie like manure in the middle of the street. So they're piled up, like they're not taken care of. They're just all there. Despite all this, his anger does not subside, and his hand is ready to strike again. He lifts a signal flag for a distant nation. He whistles for them to come from a far region of the earth. Excuse me. Look. They come quickly and swiftly. Okay, so Earlier when they were saying, we want God to act, God has to act swiftly, God has to act quickly. And the reply is, yeah, he will. When his patience is up, he's going to go and whistle, and an army's going to come and invade. That's what's going to happen. You want God to act quickly? He'll act quickly. Mountain. As a big man, it takes a lot for me to feel it, which worked against me. Ice shape. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. And I understand how that makes sense. I have genetically, it takes a long time for me to process medication for them to have an impact. I know that, and so I assume that alcohol also is also impacted that way. And yeah, I can suddenly go from feeling absolutely nothing to whoops, I guess I had too many and I need to stop without even noticing it because it will suddenly catch up with me. Okay, we had the signal fire and they're coming swiftly. None tire or stumbles. This is the army coming. They don't stop to nap or sleep. They don't loosen their belts or unstrap their sandals to rest. Their arrows are sharpened and all their bows are prepared. The hooves of their horses are hard as flint and their chariot wheels are like windstorms. Their roar is like a lion, like the roar of young lions, like the growl and seize their prey. They drag it away, and no one can come to the rescue. At that time, they will growl over their prey. They're protecting it. It will sound like sea waves crashing against rocks. One will look out over the land and see the darkness of disaster. Clouds will turn the light into darkness. So when there is nothing coming, when they're all coming and there's nothing you can do, it's going to be like a storm approaching and you're doomed. As an addict, that point never happened. Oh, yes. Understand that. My family has many addicts in there. And by the way, I don't know if I've told you this. I do have Russian heritage on one side of my family and ancestors from the Georgia region in the Caucasus. And I don't believe I've ever been to my grandfather's house, who came over as a kid and not smelled alcohol on his breath or his person. I've never had that happen. When am I on the Blessing Boat schedule tomorrow? I have that pulled up. Let me just show you real quick. So we got to convert this all over to Eastern time. So the koi pond will be up at 3 p.m. Eastern, and I will be on at 4 p.m. Eastern. So I'll be at the prayer booth until 2 p.m. Eastern, clean up, get done with that, and then come and with the fish pond cam, I usually am not on cam. I usually just have that. I'm not interactive, but we'll be interactive, and I'll talk about my fish, and we'll hang out and chat about them. And we might look up some scripture passages about fish. Is my plans for the koi pond for tomorrow. So, thank you for asking. Vodka was your drink of choice. I intentionally, for years, avoided vodka because it tasted like nothing to me, and I could not gauge that I had had a drink at all. So I knew, for me, vodka was dangerous. But I don't know the fish time. Oh, 3 p.m. fish and 4 p.m. here. Yes, that's it. Yes, a twofer. A twofer. Yeah. Here you can find coins in the mouth of some fish. Very nice passage. Yeah. Maybe we'll just do that. We'll just do a Bible search for fish tomorrow. You think that's bad? Try Jaeger. It's like a drinking syrup. Oh, I know. I like the syrup feel of it. I actually can tell if I'm having. Sorry, my hair's just bugging me today, and it's that, there we go. tiny piece right there that's hanging down. I don't know why that's so hard for me to do when I'm watching. You would think it's like looking in a mirror, but for some reason my brain doesn't read it that way. It's much too sweet for you. Yeah, it's not my go-to. I like the aromatics of it. So, free hair suckets. Okay, let me just look real quick here and mark off that we've got 5 chapters of Isaiah done. Well, we've got those right there. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, and here we have through 8:10. 8:10. Oh, we're almost to 11. Okay. Actually, this is not a bad spot to stop, I think. Oh, yeah, in the year of King Uzziah died. Yes. Yes, so we have... So this is what I was saying about Isaiah. Isaiah is divided up. People will talk about Isaiah. So if you hear people talk about the first Isaiah, second Isaiah, third Isaiah, or fourth, there's some who go 5. I don't know if they go more than 5. There are different sections within Isaiah. And so if the word of the Lord comes to a prophet and he's around for a long time, then you can see in here. So here's his commission in 6. Why do we have these other pronouncements? I think we have these other pronouncements because this is the whole marker of the whole book. Isaiah is coming. He is going to declare all of these things to the people of God. He is declaring them. I'm just looking for the year Uzziah died is somewhere around 750. Somewhere around 750. So the first part, laying out everything of that. Shadow Turner, hey, welcome in. Welcome in. We're just wrapping up, but thanks for coming out. Okay. 3 more? No, we're not doing 3 more. I was like, after 1 sip, I'll have diabetes. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't like sweet drinks. Absolutely. You got a prayer request? You can absolutely take a prayer request. You got questions? You can absolutely take those. Yes, fancy cough syrup. That's not a bad way to describe it. So, yep. Here's Blessing Boat. While you're putting the prayer request in, Blessing Boat is tomorrow. This is a once a month raid train, and they didn't start out this way, but they now do have Blessing Boat on Twitch. So if we could get them to affiliate, I don't know if they made it yet or not, but it is a raid stream to help people get affiliate. So I'm affiliate. I've been affiliate for 3 years, but early on, I was on the month before I hit affiliate. I was already on my way there, and maybe I just hit affiliate the week of it, something like that, like really close to Blessing Boat. Boom, I was affiliate right around that same time. So I have one Dapper Koi Pond. I'm hoping to become affiliate there. We also passed the cap to help those with needs. So my friend Josh, who I know in another community, not a streaming community, but he is got a friend, Mikey, he works with, whose dad has prostate cancer. So if we've been blessed and we feel we've been blessed, we give to other people so that we can help others with needs. So if you're able to give, please consider that. There's the info that you can click on the link and go bless them. If you can't do that, if you want to give another way, you can always DM me and I can help out with that. So it's like licorice. Oh, I know. Licorice is amazing. And don't get me started on red licorice. Red licorice doesn't exist. There is only licorice. Licorice is a flavor. The color is not the flavor. Okay? Food coloring is added to make it things. And red is not licorice. Just because people have mistakenly decided to call it that because it was presented in the same fashion as it, that would be like saying, if you live in a part of the country you would do this, that what kind of Coke would you like? Oh, I'll have a Sprite. Sprite isn't Coke. I'll have Slice. Slice isn't Coke. I'll have a 7-Up. It's not Coke. It's the same thing. It's become a moniker that should not exist. And I like to pick on people. Oh, you like licorice? Yeah, just the red. Then you don't like licorice. I hate licorice except the red. Then you, like, come on. It's Cherry Twizzler. I'll see what I can do. Yeah, that'd be awesome, friend. Okay, Shadow Turner, thanks for the prayer request. I have a blind spot show in my vision last night while I was working on the computer. It was like the size of a black-eyed pea on the screen. Only lasted about 15 seconds. I'm going to the eye doctor today to see my eyes checked over, but just to be sure, prayers. It is just some odd thing and nothing major. I get my eyes checked every year and have never really had this issue, so hoping it will be okay. The Lord knows, though, and it is in control, and I am doing my best just to trust in Him. So, yeah, you've been really busy. Yeah, you're excited about the moon. Yeah. Shadow Turner. I have two different things that happen with my eyes. I don't know if these are the same. I have floaters, which you can get in your eyes. It can be in one place. I can see that. I can still see it with my eyes closed. That will happen, and it will look like a dark spot, like a sunspot kind of thing. I have those. I don't have them all the time, but when I first had them, it was freaky. The other thing that I have is called like ocular migraines, and so for me, what that appears is like a halo around a center spot that I can see in the... Oh, I went into a ad break. Sorry, friend. I'll come back to that.
Flat cap Pastor rocks his tweet. Streaming
So
life by the reeds.
let's look at all of them. Oh, guppies are going to appear now. There they are.
View it all right from here.
I need to see if I can do something better to get the guppies.
Dapper man with
The
sexy
snails
hair.
tend to draw it out of focus. See, there's a snail right here in the center, and that messes the focus up of the camera so that you can't really see really well as to the guppies that are in there and their movement. They always seem to be out of focus.
To the rhythm of his song.
But man, they're looking good today. They're not always on cam. Just leave it there. We'll just leave it there.
Live, come what may. With his
All right, so it's saying we're back. We're back from the ad break, so hopefully you're coming in near that. So Shadow. So what I was saying is there's ocular migraines that you get. So for me, it's like there's a center that I can see, and then there's like everything else is a halo, and no matter how I focus, that like it's like looking through a tunnel, and everything else around is a halo. I don't have any pain with that. Some people, when they get ocular migraines, might do that. So I'm just saying there are a couple of simple things that, like, there's nothing I can do or there's nothing I need to do for either of those two conditions. But yes, we will pray for that. Let me just get caught up on chat, and then we'll pray for you, Shadow Turner. Licorice is licorice flavored. Yep. I hope you get a good report. It's good to see you. The one they call black licorice is universally hated for some reason because people don't like flavor. I usually pick out the licorice flavored jelly beans and throw them away. They are the only ones I will eat. The others are nasty. They're sweet. They're chewy. They don't have flavor. See, we all don't like the same thing. I don't have a problem with that. Not sure if I told you, but I have a girlfriend now. A small infection related. Okay, so you have put a label on that on the relationship. Did not know that. Unsubs, unfollows Mother Goose. Ads once. Yeah, I got to get caught up on chat. I stopped to read that, and then ads came. I got a PAX for the only black licorice. Yes. But I can't save my licorice jelly beans for y'all. If you like them that much, you can mail them to us. There we go. Just random licorice showing up in the mail. My stepdad was from the Netherlands, and so I still have not gotten to where I enjoy Dutch licorice. So Dutch licorice will be kind of a dry, kind of chewy. Like think of a dried out gummy bear or gummy something that's much chewier to chew through. You don't just go through. And then it's got salt all over it. So salt is fighting your mouth when you start. So it's I can eat them, but they're not my favorite. Papsio, and we are not going to talk about how licorice is sometimes licorice. Yes. You get migraines fairly regularly, so it may be that. Yeah, I also, before I got the ocular migraines, I got migraines. I don't get migraines very often. One of the things I do, I cover my forehead. That helps me with migraines. Both pressure and heat on my forehead is something that helps me when I feel a migraine coming on. I don't take any treatment for it. When I was in seminary 20 some years ago is when I had bad bouts with it, and it runs in my family, but I've been able to manage and do fairly well now. So yeah, that's always bugged you for some reason. Yeah. Okay. Husband actually have bought the bitter licorice. Yes. Hey, Chic. Shickham. Oh, 12. Thank you. Welcome in. How are you? Good. Just trying to get caught up on chat, and then we're going to pray. What is licorice anyway? Anise flavor. Anise, I have some upstairs. Anise, star anise is what it's usually called. And then that is a spice that is used in things. So it is a plant. Is it a root? It's a root. I didn't know it was a root. It's been about a month. Oh, thank you. I have a few. Thank you. Dutch licorice is real thick. Yes, it is. Okay. I've heard light pressure on the eyes can help a migraine. Mountain, one of the things I know is your body can respond differently to migraines than other people. So I take a rice bag, and that's just what it sounds like. It's a bag filled with rice. I would heat it up in the microwave and then lay it across my forehead and my eyes. And so it puts heat and pressure, light pressure on. Some people, though, heat is not the thing. Some people, cold is the thing. So, yeah, I don't take anything for migraines other than some over-the-counter meds. I tried the prescription stuff, and it made me feel like I was having a heart attack and quit. Yeah, I took one medication that felt like there was this veil, is the way I describe it, between myself and the world around me, and I did not like that thinking, so. Not a purist likes the red facsimiles. You can like the red ones, just don't call them licorice. All right, it's from Star Anise. I was thinking of sarsaparilla. Okay, Papsu, yes, it's Star Anise. You get real bad stress headaches. Yep, same. Okay, I'm caught up on chat. Now we can pray for Shadow Turner. And if anyone else has prayer requests, please put those in the chat. And I'm going to pray with my hat on and my eyes open. I'm on chat so that I can read and see anything that you put in there. There are different postures of prayer. We were talking about some of that earlier. But every head bowed, every eye closed is not what the Bible tells us how we have to pray. If you're driving and riding a bicycle, should do that. Definitely. I'm not in the house of God, so I don't feel obligated to take my hat off either. Just for new people that wonder, So let's pray. God, we are lifting up Shadow Turner before your throne. May you give clarity and wisdom to the doctors to assess what's going on with Shadow Turner's vision so that there can be treatments as necessary and there can be relief from this. Take away all fear and anxiety. Replace that with your peace and understanding. May your presence fall down upon Shadow Turner and give them comfort. God, if there is something wrong, we pray that there will be a course of treatment. We pray for your divine healing. We pray for your hand upon Shadow Turner. For anyone else in the chat who has things going on in their health, we pray for them as well. For those with ongoing things, with struggling with pain, recovering, Mountain talking about an infection, may you bring healing and restoration. Where there are other things going on in life, family members with ongoing chronic things, friends who are struggling with mental health, whatever it might be, God. May a special measure of your love just surround us this day, that wherever we go, we bring your presence, your love to those around us. You give us everything we're in need of to lift us up, to care for us, to give us your peace. God, may you just bless us this day, we pray. In Jesus' name. All right. Only hands emojis that you have. Yes, the touchdown and the fire hands. Those are decent ones for sure. All right. So let's go see about rating out. Shadow Turner, you are welcome. You are welcome. Yeah, get some amens going in the chat. She is there. Alice in the Palace. Welcome in, friend. Welcome in. I'm hoping to get the VR up again today and checking some things out. So haven't jumped back into it yet, but plan to do that soon. Barry Copeland's on. Oh, I was in his stream the other day. We're going to raid Melanated Empress. So, you're just in time to receive a blessing, Alice. May God's seeking comfort find you. May his loving arms bind you. May his might protect you. May his wisdom direct you. May the joyous love of Jesus Christ be with you and all those you know, both now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you for all being here. Thank you for great conversations in the chat. I tried to avoid Isaiah today, and we still made it through a whole bunch of it. So thank you for being here, hanging out. Yes, I guess a blessing is a blessing. Exactly. So let's go and let's bless others.
Dash of new pages, Chronicles, Gospels, Prophets, Sages, Leviticus, laws to Paul's fine phrases. Turning them corners, no spiritual mazes. Genesis to Revelation, self-divine, flipping scripts, endless grace you'll find. Psalm singing sweet, unbroken lines, hitting that rhythm, wordplay refined. Anybody in here blessed? I'm blessed. Anybody in here blessed? I'm blessed. Bible in 1 year, we don't rest. Anybody in here blessed? I'm blessed. Wake up early, the dawn's light shimmers. Spiritual breakfast, soul food dinners. Isaiah's vision, Ezekiel's figures. Walk through the fire, no one limbers. Kings and judges, prophets profound. Plow in the word, no mythical ground. Verse after verse, wisdom's bound.